are oftentimes loud, and we saw that in the one game he played when Soucy was suspended. So I think that's what the coach is weighing here and saying, yes, maybe both guys are a little bit risky. He probably feels more confident and comfortable in a guy who's been there as much as Cole has in the past.
Yeah. Juleson, he made such a big mistake in Game 4. As Rick Tocchet, I know he was fairly complimentary of Juleson's game in the one game he has played. He also did mention that second goal at the end of the second period there in Game 4 that put the Canucks down 2-0 at the time felt like a bit of a dagger. So these are mistakes you just can't make. And for as much as Juleson has had an impressive season, he's penciled into the Canucks lineup as one of their top 6 defensemen for next year. Ian Cole is still the guy you go with as a veteran and a leader of this team.
Yeah, absolutely. And he is going to be in the lineup here tonight. Batch tweeting out the lines: Höglander, Lindholm, and Pettersson, Suter, Miller, Besser, Joshua, Bluger, Garland, the JBC line, PDG, Oman, Podkolzin, Hughes, Hronek, Soucy, Myers, Zadorov, Cole, and Archer Shilovs getting the start between the pipes for your Vancouver Canucks. All right, it's time to welcome in our good friend Jannik Hansen. And Hansen is brought to you by Magnus Auto Group, Metro Ford, Port Coquitlam, and Magnuson Ford in Abbotsford on both sides of the Fraser to serve you. Jannik, what's going on, man? The Canucks have a chance to punch their ticket to the Western Conference Final here tonight. How do you feel about this team heading into Game 6 in Edmonton?
Well, after the performance they put on in Game 5, you're definitely feeling better about it. If they can sum up that effort, that type of game, they're favorites. There's no question about that. If they can push the pace, play with depth. They're a deeper team. They need to contain the top of the Edmonton lineup. We've been over that and discussed that. They managed to do that, and they put themselves in a position to do something that haven't been done in a very, very long time here in Vancouver.
You know, the coach always talks about staying connected. I think that was a big part of Game 5. We saw the forwards really working back to help the breakouts for the Canucks. But tonight's just going to be a different animal. I mean, Edmonton's on the brink. You know that they're going to empty the gas tank, and that's essentially what the Canucks are tasked with. As Rick Tocchet said, you know, tonight is going to be the hardest game of your life, at least until the next one. But you just know Edmonton's throwing everything at you tonight. How do you deal with that if you're a Canucks player?
Yeah, you're obviously in Edmonton. You got to survive the beginning. Don't feed the crowd. Don't feed their belief. Keep it close. Keep it tight. Don't go down a couple of goals. I know that's easier said than done. You always try that. But again, the longer this game stays close, the more they will start squeezing their stick. The more they're worried about, okay, if we get scored on now, we're done. So don't give them an easy night. Don't give them easy games. Don't give them hope, belief, anything to think that this is going to be an easy night for them, because this is about as stressful a hockey game you can play when you're on the brink, especially when you're considered favored going into a series. You don't want to lose out here, especially at home. So again, don't give them an easy game. Make sure this is tight checking. You're not feeding any kind of momentum their way. That way you're hanging in there. And I know that's the wrong term, because you want to take charge in the game, but you want this game to go down to the wire, unless obviously you can put them away early. But I'm not anticipating that. So it's one of those where the longer this thing stays tied, the better it is for Vancouver.
When they're going to Stuart Skinner here tonight, and they went back to, they went to Pickard for the last 2 games, going to Stuart Skinner here tonight. He's a guy that's obviously shown that the moments sometimes can be too big for him. And obviously you want to get shots on him, but like, what do you try to do when you get a guy like that in that you feel like you could get into his kitchen a little bit?
This series have been the same. It's no matter Pickard or Skinner. You get puck to him, but not the easy ones. They have proven that they can be leaky. That being said, they're good goalies. There's a reason they're in the NHL. But again, keep putting pucks. Again, this is where their doubt is. They have not gotten the goaltending they needed, they wanted, they were hoping for. And you keep playing that fiddle. You keep thinking, like, if he one squeaks by him, they will start doubting themselves, and they will question whether or not it was the right decision. Going back to Skinner, should they have stayed with Pickard? Do we need to pull him? All of these things plays into your advantage.
So we saw Elias Pettersson play maybe his best game of the series to this point? I know we talked a little bit about it yesterday, and there's still a ways that he can go. But for him, is it just simply being a little bit more confident on the ice, playing more convicted in his decisions? It just seemed like he was playing downhill a little bit more.
Yeah, there were lots of errors in his game, if you will. He didn't look to be physically engaged. He didn't look to be making those passes, setting up his line mates. He didn't look to be shooting. He was doing some of those things in the last game, but yeah, his game is far off the $11.5 million he commanded a couple of months ago. So it's one of those where you're hoping that it trends in the right direction and he continues to play that way, because again, if he squeaks closer to the PD we know he can be, Vancouver is that much more dangerous and that much better of a team.
And as far as special teams, the Canucks did a tremendous job on the PK against Edmonton last time around. Of course, you don't want to be in the box 5 times again here tonight. And despite the fact they didn't score, they looked a lot better on the power play. Should the Canucks feel better about their chances to win the special teams battle again here tonight?
Again, it was nice to see. It was good to see. You needed that. Again, if Edmonton's power play had connected in Game 5, it would have probably been a different story, but they didn't. It proved that it can be done. You can kill their penalties, so it does give the penalty kill some belief that, hey, just because we take a penalty doesn't mean it's an automatic. So it was good to see. That being said, I don't want to do the same thing. I don't want to give them 4 or 5 power plays in a game, because they are bound to produce something. And even if they don't score, they are going to generate momentum.
We're seeing line rushes, McDavid and Draisaitl again playing on separate lines, at least to start this one. But we know you're going to get their best punch tonight, Yannick. And for as good as the Canucks have been defending those guys, they still had their points generally. Is defending them in the playoffs a lot about what you can get away with, how much you can interfere with them, slow them up through the neutral zone while the ref isn't looking maybe? Is that sort of the key to stopping Connor McDavid?
I think you do need to do that to some extent, especially him. Draisaitl doesn't have the same speed burn kind of thing. He's just dominating once he gets the puck and he gets into the zone. He's hard to get it off. So McDavid, you've seen JT at times where he catches him almost in their zone and he checks him all the way into your own end in order for him not to get these 3 or 4 steps, and then he blows at your defenders, and there's no defenders. There might be 1 or 2 in defenders in this league who can play that guy, but otherwise you're at a disadvantage. So you have to slow him down. It has to be forwards. That's why it's not a one-man job or a D pairing that can contain them. It has to be the 5 guys that are out there that are aware.
Yeah, and they've done a really good job on really making life difficult for these players through the neutral zone. And the Canucks have been very physical in this series, and they've been able to really push that pace so far as much as they've had. And the coach mentioned he wants his guys to be physical, but at the same time, don't just hit guys for the sake of hitting guys. Because we see sometimes, even from Canucks players, where they're almost over-eager to make hits and they don't take the puck when it's in front of them. How key is that, hey, get the puck first, worry about being physical later tonight?
Yeah, you don't want to take yourself out of position. And that more so happens at home, where you go out of your way in order to get a big hit, in order to get the crowd out. Again, you got to be physical when the chance is there, but you're not skating 4 or 5 stride out of position, chasing a guy down that borderline a late call either. So you got to be smart with it. But you have to be physical, otherwise you're not going to win hockey games. It's part of the game. And physical, you can be in a lot of different ways. It's battling, it's pushing, it's clearing net front, and it is also finishing your checks. So you got to do it, but again, it's got to be done with some smartness. Hey,
Yannick, always appreciate your time. Enjoy this one here tonight.
Thank you, and you too.
That is Yannick Hansen. Always a pleasure having him here on the pregame show, getting you set for Canucks and Oilers Game 6. And with the Canucks, a chance to close the Oilers out here tonight. And when we talk about how the Canucks can slow down the Edmonton Oilers' top players, a lot of it also comes down to their top players playing their best here tonight. And you should feel a lot better about that with Elias Pettersson kind of coming to life last game. And if you can get JT to repeat his performance, Pettersson to get going, and you get a little bit more Blueger, Garland, and Joshua forward group-wise, you feel pretty good.
You do. The Oilers did make one change, it looks like, to their lineup. Sam Carrick coming in for Corey Perry, which was sort of speculated through the course of the day. Sam Carrick expected to play fourth-line center for the Oilers, so a little bit of a lineup change, but nothing that it isn't too noteworthy. Nothing that the Canucks should be overly worried about. I imagine Chris Knobloch just trying to get in a little bit more speed to his lineup. As for the Canucks, like you mentioned, the forward group was so good the other night. Like the way they worked back into space to help the Canucks on their breakouts, the way they were connected at all times, and even the fourth line, for as little as they played, they still played hard and they scored a goal. You don't expect that from them every night, but they did bring some of that energy, that hardness on the forecheck that allowed the Canucks to stack shifts on top of each other. And that's just something that hasn't happened a lot in this series for Vancouver, because right now you do have the mix that is probably best for your matchup with the Oilers. Now that Pettersson is playing the wing with Lindholm, you've brought back the third line, the perfection line, whatever it's called. This is a mix that is absolutely able to disrupt the Oilers and have a depth advantage over the Oilers, but you've still got to win your matchups.
You absolutely do, and that's something the Canucks are aiming to do here tonight against the Oilers in Edmonton. A lot of reaction on the text inbox. Let's read a few before we close things out here. This one here says... Quinn Hughes, I think, has been really good in this series. His plus-minus against Edmonton so far is stellar. So Quinn Hughes in this series has played 5 games, 4 assists, +2. He was -1 in the first round against Nashville. He's +2 in this series here, averaging almost 25 minutes a game. Defensively, Quinn's been making an impact. I know goal-wise he hasn't scored, but 4 assists in 5 games. You're still obviously contributing offensively, but defensively is perhaps where he's made some of his biggest contributions, especially when he's been out there against McDavid.
Do you know how many goals Quinn Hughes has been on the ice for in this series?
How many?
0.
Oh, wow. 0. Against?
0 goals against. The Oilers have not scored with Quinn Hughes on the ice. Now,
I think that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I know we've talked a little bit about this. He's not always getting the hardest match against McDavid or Draisaitl. He doesn't play on the PK. So, those are some areas where, he maybe gets some benefit. But you not being on the ice, when you've played 124 minutes in this series, they've scored 16 goals. You haven't been on the ice for one of those. That's still impressive.
And now, I will say this. McDavid is still one of the most common opposition players that Quinn Hughes has been up against in this. He kind of faces everybody, but he's still facing McDavid quite a bit and a little bit with Draisaitl as well. And as you can see with the numbers...
It's been situational the way they've matched up Hughes against McDavid, at least when they're on home ice.
Yeah. And as far as more confidence on the text inbox, Derek texted in and says he feels like the Canucks are going to win 3-1 here tonight. So we'll end it on that. Keep your thoughts coming in on the text inbox. It's Satya Shaw with Dan Riccio. I'll be back with Bick Nazar and Landon Ferraro stepping in for Brett Festerling tonight. We'll be on intermissions and postgame. But up first, it is Puck Drop, Canucks and Oilers. Game 6, Batch and Randy from Edmonton. You've been listening to the Canucks Central pregame show presented by White Spot on Home of Your Canucks, Sportsnet 650.
BCers love hockey, and they also love burgers. What's even better is saving 20% off takeout during the playoffs. Order White Spot online and save 20% off with code SAVE20. Not valid on May 12th, June 16th, or on Pirate Packs and Alcohol. Only at whitespot.ca.
What are you reading?
The email.
Hey Insiders, thanks for being here for the Vancouver Canucks and the Edmonton Oilers. This chat is on fire. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here and you haven't done so already. If you have and you are part of the 20,000 plus that have done that, thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button. And a big shout out to all of the members here that we see on the list over here to the side. Thank you all for being a part of this awesome community here on Toronto Sports Insider. Keep it up in the chat. We'll talk to you guys real soon. Hey Insiders, TSI Mike here. I just wanted to say thank you all very, very much for helping this community get to 20,000 subscribers. I cannot explain what it means to me. It is absolutely insane to think that we have built such an amazing community. And I say we because I haven't done it myself. I only provide the platform. You guys are amazing in the chat and helping this community grow by sharing this link, hitting that like button, telling your friends, and being subscribers and insiders and part of this group. So thank you all for 20,000 subscribers. Let's keep it going. The next one is 25K. It'll only be a matter of time. I'm hoping by the Stanley Cup Finals we should be there. And hey, 100K, let's get it. 100,000 subscribers is the end goal. Well, for now. Then after that, we'll see. But 100K, let's get going. Thank you all once again. It really means a lot to me and my family. Thank you so much. Back to the action. We'll see you in the chat.
Quinn Hughes throws it to the goal. It beats Sergei Bobrovsky.
And you're listening to Canucks Hockey on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Canucks soundly outplayed the Oilers in the final 2 periods of Game 5 on Thursday in Vancouver, and they were rewarded for their efforts in the closing moments. Hyman gave it away to Myers at center. They'll flip it back into the Edmonton zone. Lindholm's after it right wing. Bottom of the circle. Centering pass. Pass off a skate. Rebound. They score! T. Miller! They pressed, and they pressed, and they pressed some more, and they break through with 31.9 seconds left in the third period. It's a Vancouver lead, 3-2 in Game 5. Tonight, the Canucks have a chance to close out the Oilers, while Edmonton aims to stave off elimination and force a winner-take-all Game 7 on Monday. It's round 2, Game 6. The Vancouver Canucks and the Edmonton Oilers. The Stanley Cup playoffs are on the air, live from Rogers Place in Edmonton, Alberta.
You're listening to Vancouver Canucks Hockey on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Brendan Batchelor alongside Randeep Janda with you very high above the ice inside Rogers Place as we continue to get you set for Game 6 between the Vancouver Canucks and the Edmonton Oilers. Vancouver with a 3-2 series lead, looking to win this all-Canadian second-round clash with a victory tonight. And Randeep, there's lots of storylines going into this game, but most of them revolve around the Oilers. The Canucks are going to ice the same lineup that won in Game 5, a very thorough performance, and we heard the Miller winner there off the top. They were rewarded for their efforts late. For the Oilers, they're turning back to a goaltender who has a .793 save percentage in this series to try and help them salvage something and force Game 7.
Stuart Skinner is back in the crease for the Edmonton Oilers after getting pulled in Game 3 for allowing 4 goals against on 15 shots. And this is a guy that, the hope is for the Oilers that he's got the confidence back. But that's a huge question heading into this. This is a high-pressure situation for the Edmonton Oilers. They were expected to win the Stanley Cup leading up to this season. Obviously, it's been a lot of ups and downs this year, but really had their confidence. And the pressure is going to be on McDavid, Draisaitl, the entire team. But for a goaltender coming back in this environment where you didn't play well last time out, this is a very, very tough situation, but one that Chris Knobloch believes, he is capable of bouncing back and really powering this team through.
This is the second career elimination game for Stuart Skinner. In his only other game where the Oilers were on the brink, he gave up 4 goals on 17 shots and was pulled after 2 periods in the Game 6 loss to the Vegas Golden Knights last year. So, as we get into our keys to the game, brought to you by Avenue Machinery and Douglas Lake Equipment. Get your keys to the All-Star collection of Kubota products at one of their 6 locations around BC this spring. Visit DLEAMC.com for details. Now, one of the big keys for the Canucks tonight is to get to Stuart Skinner, make him work, make him prove that he can meet this moment.
And the coach of the Edmonton Oilers, Chris Knobloch, believes his guy is there. He's got the confidence, but you got to test it if you're the Vancouver Canucks. He's got an .877 save percentage in the playoffs. He hasn't had success against Vancouver. Get to him early, pepper him with shots, high-quality shots, though, and at the same time, test him early. See if that confidence is actually there.
Another key for the Canucks, puck management in this game tonight, and they did a lot better job of that. Rick Tocchet talked about holding on to pucks on the pregame show in their Game 5 win.
And the game winner was a classic example of that. Elias Lindholm waited for the right moment, didn't rush anything, and you have to limit giveaways against the Oilers. In the first period in Game 5, they weren't great at it, but for the final 40 minutes, they were excellent. Really one giveaway for the rest of the game, and if you do give away the puck against this Edmonton Oilers team, it launches transition attacks the other way. So that's another reason you have to be smart with the puck.
You talked about the game winner. It was a nice play by Lindholm, and it was JT Miller that cashed in to give the Canucks a 3-2 series lead. And I caught up with Miller to get his thoughts going into Game 6 after the morning skate earlier today.
Well, JT, as you have the opportunity to pick up another win and end the series tonight, what do you guys need to focus on to play as well as you did in Game 5 here again tonight on the road?
Obviously, like you said, it's a really nice opportunity for our group, and you don't want to have the mentality of, that we got 2 games to do it. We understand they're going to be a hungry team, and they're going to play well, so we got to not be surprised by that, worry about ourselves, and try to have a good start.
What are the biggest positives you take away from Game 5?
I think it's just a complete game. We played a pretty well-rounded game. I thought we played, most of 60 minutes we played well, and we had a lot of contributions from different people. I think when we have that, we're tough to handle.
What do you think has allowed you and your line to have so much success against their top players in that matchup role at various points throughout the series?
I just think, it helps us. Well, we don't turn the puck over really ever, and I think that there's times where we do, obviously, but we don't kill ourselves, and it doesn't matter. Like I said, you're playing against them. They've certainly had their looks against us, but I don't think we're not really giving them the freebie ones. We're trying not to give them the odd man breaks and the turnover-y ones. Like, we take care of the puck. It's just a matter of, I think last game we played a little less safe against them, and we played with the puck more. So we got to look into do that a little more, and I think we can even have more of those on time against them, because obviously if you're in there, they're going to be getting more tired in there.
Rick has talked a lot about holding on to pucks. How much did that patience help you guys in terms of your transition, making plays rather than throwing pucks away?
Yeah, you just got to find the line of, turning pucks over and forcing plays. But there's always, if there's a play to be made, we support, we want to make the play. But you have to understand, the time and place to do that, and I think that we did a better job of that last game.
Thanks for this. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, man.
There you go. That's JT Miller. He scored the game winner in Game 5. And talked about his line having success in a matchup role because they don't really turn the puck over very much. Now, let's get into the starting lineups because there's a conversation point for us to build off here, Randy. Starting lineups presented by Angry Otter Liquor. Find your starting lineup of beer, wine, and whiskey favorites. Let's begin with the goaltenders. For the Canucks, it's Artur Shilovs going in between the pipes. He's 3-2 in 5 games in the series with an .891 save percentage. At the other end of the ice, it is Stuart Skinner, 1-2 in the 3 games that he played before ceding the crease to Cal Pickard for games 4 and 5. A 4.40 goals against average and a .793 save percentage in the series. The Oilers start with a defensive pairing of Darnell Nurse and Vincent Desharnais. Up front, it's Warren Fogle, Ryan McLeod, and Derek Ryan that start the game. For the Canucks, Carson Soucy and Tyler Myers on the back end, Pius Suter, JT Miller, and Brock Besser up front. And we talked about the Miller line matching up against McDavid. Well, Chris Knobloch has the last change here tonight on home ice, and he is clearly trying to move away from that to begin the game.
Yeah, JT Miller's done a great job against Connor McDavid. 47 minutes played and really outscored Connor McDavid. So Knobloch's trying to get away from that. And if you go back to Game 5, JT set the tone right off the opening faceoff with a big cross-check to set the tone. You're trying to go away from that, trying to get away from that matchup and find a softer one now, which is an interesting move here because Knobloch hasn't tried that for the entire series.
Knobloch is also making one lineup change further down the lineup. The 39-year-old veteran Corey Perry comes out of the lineup, and Sam Carrick draws in. Now, Carrick didn't have a ton of points this year. He had 11 points in 61 games with the Ducks before being acquired by Edmonton. Then he had 5 points in 16 games. But Edmonton's bottom 6 has not been good enough in this series, and you imagine that Knobloch is hoping that Carrick can come in and kind of breathe some life into their depth.
Corey Perry doesn't have that burst right now. Sam Carrick a little bit more physical. He's a faster player as well, but you're looking for adrenaline at this point. In the last game, the Canucks got it from Vasily Podkolzin and Phil DiGiuseppe. Maybe the Edmonton Oilers are looking to do the exact same thing, add some life to the bottom of their lineup.
Canucks depth came through for them in Game 5. The fourth line of Phil DiGiuseppe, Niels Oman, and Vasily Podkolzin had a great game. And I think it's probably fair to say that that Game 5 is the blueprint, and they need to try and replicate that, regardless of the fact you're on the road, regardless of the fact it's a hostile building, regardless of whatever might go against you tonight. You know that you can execute if you play the way that you did in Game 5.
Whether you're getting 25 minutes of ice or getting 9 minutes, can you make an impact in your allotted time? You mentioned the fourth line. They did a great job of that off the forecheck, created some goals, had a real impact play. They're going to need that and potentially more throughout the lineup tonight, as you can hear this Oilers crowd is ready. And I would imagine the players are they're going to come out really ready for this game and ready to skate through walls based on the energy in this building.
It is Game 6 between the Canucks and the Oilers. A win for Vancouver means the West Final. A win for the Oilers means Game 7 on Monday night. And they'll live to fight another day if they can get the victory tonight. We'll have the opening face-off when we return to Rogers Place on Alpine Credits Canucks Playoff Hockey on Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
BCers love hockey, and they also love burgers. What's even better is saving 20% off takeout during the playoffs. Order White Spot online and save 20% off with code SAVE20. Not valid on May 12th, June 16th, or on pirate packs and alcohol. Only at whitespot.ca.
Door to door or port to port, All Cargo Express is.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, have you? I didn't think so. Come on, hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to this game, show some support and hit that subscribe button and help this community keep growing on its way up to 100,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of you who have hit that button already, and welcome to everybody who's brand new and is doing that right now. See you guys back in the chat.
That way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
How many emails, text messages, notifications for calendar reminders of meetings you don't want to go to are all waiting for you to deal with right now? Well, your legendary escape from it all awaits. The number 5 orange is open right now. That's a meeting invite worth accepting. Pregame, postgame, even during the game. The number 5 orange.
The road trips are coming.
The road trips are coming.
Do you hear that? The road trips are coming.
Hey, it's Jeff, owner at Turn 3 Autosport. It's time to get road trip ready by getting your spring service done. Experience an exceptional alternative to the dealer and book your appointment today to hit the road running. Our team's passion and commitment will have you wondering why you didn't visit us sooner.
Turn 3 Autosport, born out of a passion. In Langley and at turn3autosport.com.
Blue Jays legend Buck Martinez is coming to the net.
Swing and a drive. Get up, Buck.
Meet Buck and catch a C's game on Tuesday, May 28th as the Pacific Toyota Dealers Superstar Series continues. Get your tickets now at CanadiansBaseball.com.
Your feet, the silent workhorses of your body. They've danced you through life's highs, sprinted you through challenges, even stood firm on the green for that last putt. But even the strongest of supporters need support. That's where Kintec comes in. Not just with shoes, but with custom orthotics that ensure every step is aligned and comfortable. Visit kintec.net and discover how orthotics can transform your every step.
Hey, this is Brock Besser.
He scores with 1 second left in the period.
And you're on the home of the Canucks, Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back inside Rogers Place in Edmonton. Brendan Batchelor and Randeep Jando with you ahead of Game 6 between the Canucks and the Oilers. It's electric here in Edmonton, with the Oilers needing a win to try and force a Game 7 and the Canucks trying to close it out. Here's public address announcer Al Stafford.
Cross Oil Country, and here in Rogers Place, we ask you to please remain standing, remove your hats, and join the singing voice of your Edmonton Oilers, Robert Clark, in the performance of the Canadian National Anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true pain.
and...
Robert Clark and a sold-out crowd here tonight at Rogers Place with the singing of the national anthem. And with that in the books, it's just about time to drop the puck on Game 6 of Round 2 between the Vancouver Canucks and the Edmonton Oilers. Vancouver leads the best-of-7 series 3-2. Canucks are wearing the road white uniforms with the blue and green trim. They'll skate from right to left in the first period. The Oilers in their home blues with orange and white trim will go from left to right. The referees are Garrett Rankin, Jean Hebert, Shander Alfonso, and Johnny Murray are on the lines. Brad Watson is the series supervisor. And the opening face-off is brought to you by Northview Golf and Country Club, the official golf course of the Vancouver Canucks. Legendary golf at its finest. Book now at northviewgolf.com. The Miller line against the third line of the Oilers to begin this one tonight. We've seen McDavid matched up against Miller a lot in this series in both rinks, but tonight's game will not begin that way. It's McLeod and Miller at center ice on the opening faceoff, and McLeod wins the draw back into his own end for Darnell Nurse. Nurse near side for Vincent Desharnais. Banks it right wing to center. Tipped into the Vancouver zone by Derek Ryan. Shelov's out of the goal to handle. Pressured on the forecheck. Is battling behind the net. Oilers get it free into the slot. There was no one there as Shelov's had to battle with both Fogle and McLeod on the forecheck, and they got it loose middle of the ice, but it ends up back in their zone. Now here's Besser to the Oiler line, middle of the ice. Left wing pass intended for Hronek jumping up at the play. Bounced off his skate, and Miller has it again at center. Goes left wing for Besser. Steers it deep on the backhand as Desharnais steps up on him and knocks him down at center ice, and Darnell Nurse has it behind his own goal. Nurse with speed to the Vancouver line on left wing. Fakes a shot, goes wide on Hronek, throws it to the goal, stop by Shelov's. Rebound in the slot, cleared to the near circle, but settled by Zach Hyman in the corner. Hyman chips it behind the net for McDavid, tied up by Hronek. Hughes in to get the puck, gave it away to Nugent Hopkins, side of the goal, spinning left circle, centering pass. Bounced off a skate to the near point, held in by Bouchard with a long shot. That misses the net. Ekholm off the left wing, throws it to the goal, and he missed two. Bouchard right point, passes middle of the ice, it rolls out of the zone, and Matthias Ekholm's got to take it back to center. Near boards for Bouchard, who dumped it back in. Nugent Hopkins first to it, left wing corner. Spinning on the boards, goes down low to Hyman, left wing corner. Watched by Hronek, Zach Hyman. Backhand pass behind the net. Broken up by Elias Lindholm. Pettersson in to help out. Lindholm and Pettersson hounding the puck. Far corner, it comes to Hronek behind the net, and he's got time to bank it off the boards and out to center. And Bouchard will leave for Ekholm at his own blue line.
And just as you'd expect, a very aggressive start by the Oilers. The Canucks have to stay in their structure.
Here's Draisaitl left wing to the Vancouver line with a heavy shot. He missed the net. Teed up a slapper for the top of the circle off the rush, and it caroms all the way back down into the Edmonton zone. Now behind the play, we got a penalty being called. Interference signaled in the neutral zone. And a conversation ongoing. But it's an Oiler penalty. It's a Canuck power play, and it's Leon Draisaitl in the box.
And this happens right near in front of the Canucks bench as Connor Garland and Leon Draisaitl get involved. And it's a shoulder to shoulder. The puck is nowhere near Garland as he's in the way of Draisaitl, but Draisaitl leans into it. So an early power play for the Vancouver Canucks. Didn't score in the last game, but started to show some signs of progress, especially in the net front area.
Canucks with 3 goals on 16 power play opportunities in the series thus far. And they can deal the Oilers a heavy blow if they can score on this man advantage. They win the draw. Hughes dumps it left corner. Miller missed it down low of the boards, and Desharnais clears to center, but Hughes bats it down. Quinn Hughes back in across the Oiler line. Left wing for Miller. Tried a centering pass. That was broken up on the near side by Derek Ryan. Leaves behind his own net for Matthias Ekholm, who takes his time and fires it all the way down over the net of Shelov's. Quinn Hughes deep in his own end. Watched by Ryan McLeod. Skating towards center, drops to Elias Pettersson. Pettersson with speed to the Oiler line on left wing. Dumps it into the right corner. Skinner out of his goal to handle behind the net. Cleared it up the far side. Fogle stripped to the puck by Besser. Lindholm in to get it. Tried a centering pass, but it's broken up in the slot and cleared all the way back down by Cody Ceci.
And the Canucks have yet to test Stuart Skinner yet. This power play is a good opportunity, but through the first minute, they haven't gotten anywhere near the net.
Now here's Miller to the Oiler line, cutting through the middle. Passes right boards for Besser. Threw it to the net. It missed wide of the target. Hughes will hold in left side. Spins it behind the goal. Garland tips it right wing to Brock Besser. Back to Pettersson to the point. Left wing side for Hughes. Skating down the boards. Pushed to the corner by Brown. Passes back right circle. Besser has time. Shoots side of the net. Miller tried to tip it on, but Skinner covers up side of the net. Miller took an extra whack. The Oilers don't like that, as Miller has his helmet ripped off his head behind the net by Matthias Janmark, and somehow Miller's getting a penalty out of this, as Janmark is being told to go to the box, and I think Miller will too. So that's a good trade-off from the Oilers' perspective. A fourth-line winger against the Canucks' #1 center.
And this is a battle that was happening 2 games ago as well. Matthias Janmark got drilled by JT Miller, and here they're trying to set the tone. Miller's been a physical presence in the series, especially against Connor McDavid, and he has a whack at it in front of the net as he tries to jam it in, and Janmark didn't like that.
Edmonton 13, 2 minutes each for roughing.
And that's a good trade-off for the Edmonton Oilers, as JT Miller, really the quarterback of that power play alongside Quinn Hughes, is now coming off the ice.
But the interesting thing here, and no, they're not. It's not going to be 4-on-3. I was thinking they might go 4-on-3 here, but it's a 5-on-4 situation. Second power play unit is out now anyway. 43 seconds left in the Vancouver man advantage. 3:03 gone in the first period. No score. The Canucks and the Oilers in Game 6 tonight in Edmonton. Face-off will be to the left of Stuart Skinner, who as of yet has not been tested with a shot on goal.
And it is the second power play unit with Quinn Hughes on there, so it's still a bit of an extension of the first power play unit.
Joshua and Nugent Hopkins to take the drop. Right wing circle in the Oilers zone. Power play unit for the Canucks. Joshua, Suter, Hronek, Hughes, and Garland. And they win the draw. Hughes long shot for the line. Missed past the glove side of Skinner. Hronek gets it left boards. Again to Hughes. Top of the point. Takes a long shot through traffic. Blocked in front. Ceci can't clear the zone. But Nugent Hopkins gets it all the way down on the backhand.
And the Canucks still yet to get a shot on goal. They've had a couple of half chances, but pucks haven't got through.
20 seconds left in the Vancouver power play. Garland from his own line. Skates into the Oilers zone right wing. Rink-wide pass left side for Dakota Joshua. Drops it back to Hughes, top of the point. Tried a shot that was blocked by Fogle to the near corner. Desharnais clears it off the glass and all the way down. Draisaitl will step out of the box in 5 seconds, and the Canucks will go to 0 for 1 on the power play in Game 6. Hughes has it behind his own goal. And takes his time on the breakout for Nikita Zadorov. Holding on to the puck, pressured by Draisaitl. Zadorov goes right wing to Podkolzin. Into the Oilers zone, top of the circle. Heavy shot. He ripped it past the stick side of Skinner, and it deflects back into the Canuck end. Myers back to it, chased down by Draisaitl. Protects it well behind the net. Draisaitl hit him into the inboards. Hyman dumps it behind the Vancouver goal, but it's found down low by Neil Zoman. He'll go left wing to center for Di Giuseppe. Now to Teddy Bluger. Into the Oiler end, shoots left wing, rebound far post. Myers jumping up in the play, swept it to the net, and Skinner makes the save and holds on. 4:20 gone in the first period of Game 6. No score between the Canucks and the Oilers in Edmonton.
A very quick attack by the Canucks as it comes back into their own zone, and then they start an attack where PDG, Phil Di Giuseppe, gets the puck in the neutral zone, chips it forward to Teddy Bluger, whose shot goes wide, but Tyler Myers attacking from the right-hand side nearly jammed it in. An aggressive attack by the Canucks' fourth line.
Bluger line out for the offensive zone faceoff against the second line of the Oilers. Nugent Hopkins, Holloway, and Kane. Bouchard and Kulak on the blue line. So some blended defensive pairings for Edmonton here as well. And we might see that throughout the night as Matthias Ekholm has been battling an illness. And Matthias Janmark has since gone to the Oiler dressing room. There's the Canucks with a draw shot for the line. For the right point by Ian Cole. Tipped off a stick in the slot, and Skinner made a good save off the pad. Zadorov holds in left point. Dumps it behind the Oiler net. Bouchard pressured on the end boards by Garland. Bluger in there too, knocks it free. Garland side of the net, sweeps it towards the crease. Skinner holds it out off his path. Canucks continue to forecheck relentlessly. Garland near boards, fights it free. Left point for Zadorov, shoots. It hit Joshua in front. Rebound near circle, bounced away from Teddy Bluger, and Dylan Holloway passes left wing to center for Evander Kane. Into the Vancouver zone, chance for a 2-on-1. Center for Bouchard. Great play by Ian Cole on the back check to break it up, and Garland gets it right wing to center and into the Oilers zone. Now a stretch pass for Kane, right wing of the Canuck line. Clears it past Hronek behind the Vancouver net. Hughes back to it. Sweeps it around the far side. Pettersson got it to the line, not out. Nurse tried a long shot. Hughes blocked it. And now Lindholm passes left wing to center for Höglander. Back to Elias Lindholm, driving the middle. Again to Höglander. Bats it into the left corner. Chases down Desharnais on the forecheck. Puck comes free up the near side. Pettersson will battle along the boards with Zach Hyman trying to get the puck free. Hyman clears it loose. Draisaitl at his own line, passes left wing to center out of the reach of both Nurse and McDavid, and Quinn Hughes back to it in the far corner. Had his stick broken in a battle with Nurse, and McDavid's got it behind the Vancouver net. Now it's sent back to the line. Heavy drive by Bouchard. He didn't get all of that one and missed the net. Nurse from the left wing to the right circle for Draisaitl. Back to the line, Bouchard, fanned on another one-timer rather, and Pettersson's able to get it out to center. Bouchard clears it back in. McDavid to the Canuck line. Dispossessed by Philip Hronek. And Bouchard on his own half of center. Left wing Ekholm into the Canuck zone. Stops up at the point and dumps it into the corner while the Oilers complete a change. Soucy tried to pass through the middle, nearly broken up by Ryan McLeod off the bench, but Pius Suter did well to tip it to the Oiler line. Evan Bouchard for Ryan McLeod at center. Steps out of the way of a hit attempt by Soucy and skates in on the right wing. Gets it behind the goal. Puck is centered by Fogle from behind the net, but cleared off the glass and out to center by Di Giuseppe. Suter, Di Giuseppe, and Besser playing together here with Miller still in the box, serving the coincidental penalty along with Matthias Janmark, who again has gone to the Oiler dressing room. And Fogle's got it deep in his own zone for Edmonton. Nearing the 7-minute mark of the first period. No score. Canucks and Oilers in Game 6. Bouchard taking time on the breakout behind his own net. Try to pass left wing to center. Ian Cole tied up Evander Kane. It rolled in behind the Canuck goal. Shilov's out of the net. Threw it around the glass near side. Connor Brown after it on the forecheck. Lost it to Dakota Joshua, who clears to center again. Brett Kulak on the left wing. Dumps it back in. Zadorov near corner. After it, as is Connor Brown, and Zadorov clears it middle of the ice out to center. Kulak again. Fires it back deep. Zadorov meets it near corner a second time. Throws it up the left wing. Joshua tips it to the Oiler line, and Kulak takes it back while the Canucks complete a line change. Cody Ceci leaves for McDavid at his own line. Right wing for Hyman with speed into the Vancouver zone near circle. Shoot, stopped by Shilovs. Great job to kick the rebound to the far boards because McDavid was driving through the middle, looking for the puck, but it was out of his reach.
Excellent job by the Canucks defenders as well to protect the middle of the ice and give Shilovs that shot.
Di Giuseppe forechecking right corner in the Oilers zone. Gets it around to the left wing side for Oman. Drops to Podkolzin on the cycle. Centered in front. Di Giuseppe was going to the net. Couldn't settle it. And Nugent Hopkins clears it off a stick and out to center. Hyman forechecking right corner in the Vancouver zone. Knocked into the boards by Soucy. Oman back to it. Goes ahead to Di Giuseppe. And the Canucks clear it out to center ice. Evan Bouchard plays behind his own goal to the near corner for Vincent Desharnais. And again to Bouchard behind the Oiler net. Edmonton changing. Holloway gets it right wing at center. Stood up by Pettersson. Cuts into the middle of the ice, into the Vancouver zone. To the net. He scores! Dylan Holloway didn't have a point in his last 8 games, but he scores a huge goal for the Oilers. They lead 1-0 in the first period of Game 6.
He picked the right time to score that point here in Game 6 for the Edmonton Oilers as he gets the puck with speed and blows past Elias Pettersson on the right-hand side and then cuts to the inside, going past Quinn Hughes, and a little 5-hole action on Artur Shilovs, but that's all about speed as Quinn Hughes got caught flat-footed in the defensive zone, and the Canucks give up the neutral zone very easily to Dylan Holloway.
Holloway's third of the playoffs comes at 8:18 of the first period to give the Oilers a 1-0 lead. The time of the goal is brought to you by Crow, your trusted advisors for 55 years. Learn more at crowmackay.ca. Brock Besser with the pocket center. Pressure back into his own zone, and Pius Suter has it in his own end. Looked like Besser might have taken a high stick from Leon Draisaitl. Now here's Miller, right wing. Into the Oilers zone, driving wide on Ekholm. Carries it behind the net, overskated the puck. Suter in to help out, battles with Ekholm, who plays it free far side, and Evander Kane clears it ahead. Holloway passes right wing to center for Draisaitl. Cutting to the Vancouver line. Delays on the half boards, into the slot. Bouchard tried to get a shot away, and Blueger made a great play to strip him of the puck, and it rolled to the corner. Ian Cole battling for it down low. Zadorov there too. Knocks it free for Teddy Blueger. Blueger winding his way to center. Nice move to the Oiler line. Spinorama got a backhand shot away and missed the net as he tried to fire it past Kulak on the backhand. Now Fogle centers for Kulak. Left wing into the Vancouver zone. Around Garland to the far corner. Garland ties him up behind the net. Kulak's got it near side. Garland loses his stick in the battle, but Blueger gets it free. Fires it out to center only as far as Ryan McLeod. Near boards, Cody Ceci dumps it back in. McLeod left corner. Tied up by Garland on the boards. Hronek plays it free near side. Hughes is after the puck. Bats it loose to Blueger, and he'll chip it out to center again. Canucks under pressure right now. We talked about how well they established their forecheck in Game 5. It's the Oilers who are sending the Canucks back for pucks deep in their own zone here early in Game 6.
The Oilers have got the green light to attack. A lot of quick ups early on in this game by the Oilers.
Now here's Höglander to the Edmonton line on left wing, driving wide on the boards, stops up, spins away from Desharnais, leaves for Pettersson on the half wall. Pettersson into the left corner behind the Edmonton net, centered in front. Höglander scores! Niels Höglander on a one-timer in the slot. Skinner made the first save, but Höglander jammed it home the second time, and the Canucks have tied the game at 1.
And a great counterpunch by the Vancouver Canucks comes in the form of Elias Pettersson to Niels Höglander. Pettersson given room along the left-hand side, and Höglander goes straight to the middle where there's two Edmonton Oilers on either side of him, but he finds that soft area and jams the puck home, attacking the blue paint to make it 1-1.
Niels Höglander has his first career playoff goal at 10:03 of the first period to tie the game at 1. The time of the goal is brought to you by Crow, your trusted advisors for 55 years. Learn more at crowmackay.ca. So the Canucks saw an early punch from the Oilers and have counterpunched in a back-and-forth first period. Shots are even at 3 apiece as Myers lays a big hit at his own line, but Nugent-Hopkins gets it loose. To the line for Ekholm. Back to Nugent-Hopkins, left wing, spins it behind the net. McDavid's got it on the end boards. McDavid bottom of the right circle, trying to center it. Pass, it was loose of the crease, and Shilovs covers up and gets the whistle. 9:37 remaining in the first period. It's a 1-1 tie between the Canucks and the Oilers in Game 6 on Alpine Credits Canucks Playoff Hockey, streaming on the Sportsnet app and along the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, it's Kevin Woodley, and there's nothing better than driving to a playoff game when the sun is out, except maybe doing it in the completely redesigned 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe, with a bold modern appearance and luxurious interior that now includes a standard third row of seating for 7. That's enough room for all the goalies and their gear, no matter how many you need, or for everyone hopping back on the playoff.
Hey Insiders, TSI Mike here. I just wanted to say thank you all very, very much for helping this community get to 20,000 subscribers. I cannot explain what it means to me. It is absolutely insane to think that we have built such an amazing community. And I say we because I haven't done it myself. I only provide the platform. You guys are amazing in the chat and helping this community grow by sharing this link, hitting that like button, telling your friends, and being subscribers and insiders and part of this group. So thank you all for 20,000 subscribers. Let's keep it going. The next one is 25K. It'll only be a matter of time. I'm hoping by the Stanley Cup Finals we should be there. And hey, 100K, let's get it. 100,000 subscribers is the end goal. Well, for now. Then after that, we'll see. But 100K, let's get going. Thank you all once again. It really means a lot to me and my family. Thank you so much. Back to the action. We'll see you in the chat.
Hey, this is Ian Cole, and you're on the home of the Canucks, Sportsnet 650.
You're listening to Alpine Credits Canucks Playoff Hockey on Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network. Own your home. Alpine Credits can get your loan approved. Alpine Credits homeowners get approved. Visit alpinecredits.ca. 9:37 left in the first period tonight in Edmonton. Canucks and Oilers tied at 1 in Game 6. Vancouver leads the series 3-2. Goals by Dylan Holloway for Edmonton and Niels Höglander for Vancouver. His first career playoff goal from Elias Pettersson and Filip Hronek, who picks up his first career playoff point. Canucks win a faceoff in their own zone, and Pius Suter gets it out to center. Bouchard at his own line, flings a pass ahead. Hyman couldn't handle it, and Myers gets it right wing to center for Besser. Cleared it middle of the ice behind JT Miller, and it's icing against the Canucks. Get your tickets for the Canucks online 50-50 draw. Go to Canucks.com/5050 to enter. Ticket sales close at the end of the second intermission. Must be 19 plus and located in BC at the time of purchase to play. Know your limit. Play within it.
The two players have scored in this game thus far. Similar profile, undersized a little bit, but scrappy and can get their goals. Dylan Holloway plays the game a certain way, and so does Niels Höglander, getting the early goals for their team here.
Miller wins the draw for McDavid in his own zone behind the net for Soucy. Challenged by Nugent Hopkins, got it up the boards to Miller. And he sweeps it left wing to center for Pius Suter, who clears it past Bouchard and into the Oiler end. Besser left corner. Protected the puck from McDavid. Goes near side for Suter. To the top of the point. Myers steps into a drive. He missed the net. Rebound for Suter. At the bottom of the left circle, he fired it through the crease and out the far side. Myers holds in. High slot. Besser with room turns and shoots, and it was blocked wide of the net. Soucy tried to hold in left point, but McDavid's got it. He's away to center with speed. Stood up by Miller, but keeps the puck. McDavid right wing. High slot. Bouchard with a one-timer. It was tipped and missed the net past the glove side of Shelov's. Penalty down low being called to the Vancouver zone as Myers and Hyman were engaged in a battle in the corner. I think Soucy caught a high stick here maybe, and this might be another Vancouver power play. It is indeed, and it's Connor McDavid who looks like he's heading to the box.
The two skill players for the Edmonton Oilers getting early penalties in this game. Last time out, it was interference on Leon Draisaitl here.
2 minutes, high sticking.
Number 97, 2 minutes for high sticking on Tyler Myers. And if you hit Tyler Myers in the face, your stick is definitely high because he's 6'8". And this happens in the left corner as it was on Carson Soucy. And Soucy just has control of the puck, and the stick just gets unnecessarily high there from Connor McDavid. Wasn't intentional, but it's a 2-minute power play for the Canucks.
Their second man advantage of the game. They're 0 for 1. And they'll have Miller for the entirety of this power play after he took a penalty midway through their first man advantage of the game. But they're going to start with the second unit because that line had just been on the ice. So it's Joshua, Suter, Garland, Hronek, and Hughes is out there to begin this power play. That could be because those guys were on the ice. Could be a little bit of a message to the top unit. Canucks win the draw. Hughes left point. Passes high slot for Suter. Left corner to Garland. Try to pass through the middle. Hronek right circle. Had it tipped away from him by Ekholm, but he wins a battle to keep it in the zone. Joshua right corner digging away for the puck. Hronek's in there too. Ekholm was knocked down on the boards. Now Hronek gets it free to the line, but it's out of the reach of Garland, who was back covering, and he's got to take it into his own end.
And the Oilers did a good job of wasting time there in the right corner, just holding up the puck and taking seconds off the clock.
Here comes the top power play unit over the boards. Hughes deep in his own zone, flips it free to Elias Pettersson off the bench. Pettersson with speed, middle of the ice, into the Oilers zone. Being hounded on the back check by McLeod. Keeps the puck, tried to bank it back to the point for Miller. McLeod breaks it up and clears it high in the air back into the Vancouver end. Hughes takes it behind his own goal, makes a nice move to spin away from McLeod on the forecheck and passes back to center for Besser. Left wing to the Edmonton line. Besser tried a heavy drop pass. Pettersson missed it, and Hughes goes back to it at his own end.
And Bats, it's all about those entries. There's no confidence right now when they start to hit that blue line.
Pettersson winding through the center ice circle, left wing into the Oilers zone, try to drop pass. It came out of the zone to Hughes, and they've got to regroup again now with 50 seconds left of the power play. Hughes, right wing for Miller, carries down the boards, rink wide left side for Besser. Top of the circle, feeds back to the line for Pettersson. At the line, right point to Hughes, down the far wall for JT Miller. Miller with a backhand pass, top of the point, Hughes. Left circle, Besser. Again to Hughes with room. Back to Besser. Sweeps it to the right side. Miller settles off his skate. Doesn't have a shooting lane. Goes back to Hughes. Left circle across to Miller. One time pass to Besser. Left wing. Threw it to the goal. And it was tipped wide by Lindholm just in front. Pettersson back to Miller. 20 seconds left of the power play. Miller down the right wing. Scoops it to the top of the circle for Lindholm. To Miller in the corner. Rink wide pass intended for Besser. Broken up by Desharnais, and it rolls out to center ice. Second power play looked a lot better than the first one. With 5 seconds left in it, they gain the Oiler line again. Miller passes high slot. Lindholm couldn't settle the bouncing puck. Soucy off the bench holds in for Miller. Downhill on the left wing. McDavid's back onto the ice. Miller goes behind the goal for Besser. Protected the puck on the end boards from Bouchard. who knocks it off his stick for Draisaitl near side. He'll center for McDavid, who looks to pick up speed right wing to center. McDavid to the Vancouver line, being pressured by Garland on the back check. Drops high slot for Draisaitl. To the left circle, try to centering pass. Garland blocked it. Great play. And the puck rolls back out to center.
Full commitment from everybody on the ice when Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid are attacking.
Now a stretch pass goes all the way down. This is icing against the Oilers with 6:14 remaining in the first period. Vancouver and Edmonton are tied at 1 in Game 6. Jack 96.9 is playing whatever, and they're giving away tickets to every Canucks home playoff game. Tune in to Jack weekday mornings for your chance to win. Just tell your smart speaker to play Jack 96.9. And a special hello to all our listeners on the island tuning in on Jack 103.1 in Victoria. Offensive zone draw for the Canucks after the icing call against Edmonton. McDavid wins it to the boards. Kulak knocks it past Connor Garland out to center, only as far as Nikita Zadorov. Played it ahead for Garland to receive the pass offside. And we'll have a neutral zone face-off when we return. 6:07 left of the first period of Game 6. It's the Canucks 1 and the Oilers 1 on Alpine Credits Canucks Playoff Hockey on Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, it's Kevin Woodley, and there's nothing better than driving to a playoff game when the sun is out, except maybe doing it in the completely redesigned 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe, with a bold modern appearance and luxurious interior that now includes a standard third row of seating for 7. That's enough room for all the goalies and their gear, no matter how many you need, or for everyone hopping back on the playoff bandwagon. Check out the gorgeous new 2024 Santa Fe at White Rock Hyundai, or visit them today at whiterockhyundai.com.
Carter Honda is on the bandwagon, and it's game time, saving the best deals for the playoffs. Lease a new Honda Civic or HR-V from just 3.49% with plenty of stock to choose from. Or lease the award-winning CR-V from just 2.99%. And yes, that includes the CR-V hybrid model. Come in and ask about the playoff package at Carter Honda, 8th and Burrard, and CarterHonda.com. Let's go!
Treat yourself to something tasty anytime at Max's Bakery and Deli. For breakfast, enjoy decadent pastries and, of course, coffee. For lunch, soup, salads, and sandwiches are seriously tasty favorites. And for lunch or dinner, Max's Deli case is stocked with 60 freshly made meals and savories. Eat at a cozy table or take it with you. Grab a treat at Max's Bakery and Deli, Vancouver's ultimate sweet escape. Open daily 6:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. at 3105 Oak Street. Online at maxsdeli.ca.
Hi, this is Matthew Demko, and you're on the home of the Canucks, Sportsnet 650.
Thanks for joining us along the Sportsnet Radio Network tonight. Brendan Batchelor and Randeep Janda with you. 6:07 left in the first period. Canucks and Oilers tied at 1. Whether you're Brad listening in on a camping trip at Lake Cowichan or Mike and the boys tuning in from Blackwater Gold Mine near Vanderhoof, we thank you for spending your evening, afternoon, or morning with us. Let us know where you're listening from. You can reach me at Batch Hockey. He is at Randeep Janda. Our flagship station is at Sportsnet 650. You can find those handles on Instagram, TikTok, and the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. Face-off outside the Oiler line to our left near boards. 1-1 tie in Game 6. Niels Höglander with the Canuck goal. Dylan Holloway scored for the Oilers. And Edmonton wins the draw. Evan Bouchard near corner in his own end. Goes up the boards to Holloway. Rink-wide pass to center. Ekholm tips it left wing for Evander Kane. Floats it to Draisaitl. Skating into the Canucks zone. Left wing. Drops to Kane with a one-timer. And Garland blocked that. Looked like it stung him, and it goes up into the netting and out of play.
Early on in this game, whether it's a back check or a block shot, Connor Garland has been everywhere. Drew a penalty in front of his bench, too. So we often talk about the offensive play of Connor Garland when it's hanging on to pucks, whether it's battling in the offensive zone or on the forecheck. Early in this game, there's been a defensive commitment.
Lindholm, Pettersson, and Höglander onto the ice, and the matchup that Chris Knobloch is looking for is McDavid against the Lindholm line. So they're out there right now, but Lindholm wins the draw from McDavid. Down low to Ian Cole. Nice rink-wide pass through the slot to Höglander near side, who couldn't clear past Bouchard. Zadorov chased back into the corner. Ian Cole knocked down McDavid in a battle behind the net. Fans want a penalty. Play continues, and Pettersson's out to center on right wing. He'll gain the red line and dump it in. Höglander left wing on the forecheck. Bouchard cleared it up the wall. It's held in by Lindholm, who's hit late by Hyman into the boards. And the battle continues down low. Höglander knocks down Bouchard. It comes back to the right point. Myers centers high slot for Lindholm. He dumps it behind the Oiler net. Ekholm Takes a bump on Pettersson, knocked him to the ice in the corner. And Höglander gets it down low. Healthy slash from Bouchard, but fed it near side for Lindholm. Elias Lindholm to Höglander behind the net. Taken down by Ekholm. It comes loose to Pettersson in the corner. Back to Zadorov at the line. Middle of the ice for Myers. Holds onto it right point. Passes far corner for Höglander. Pushed to the wall. But got it free to Pettersson down low off the goal line with a tight angle shot. Missed the net. Then he has the stick knocked out of his hands by Bouchard, who grabbed him by the scruff of the neck and tried to throw him down. Oilers clear to center. Canucks dump it back in.
And that's a response to the hit by Ian Cole on Connor McDavid a couple of minutes ago.
Fourth line out, forechecking deep in the Oilers zone, but Janmark comes away with it for Edmonton. Left wing to center for Connor. Brown gains the red line and dumps it past Hronek in deep. Hughes back to the puck. Takes a good route to it so that Janmark couldn't hit him. Threw it up the boards, but Sam Carrick dumps it back down low. Now Janmark tried to center for below the goal line. Podkolzin broke it up in the slot. He's tied up on the end wall by Carrick. Puck caught up in skates. Hronek back to help out. Passes free for DiGiuseppe, and he gets it past Nurse back to the Oiler blue line. 4:10 left in the first period of Game 6. Canucks and Oilers tied at 1. Vancouver leads the series 3-2. Connor Brown, right wing to center. Clears it behind the Vancouver net. Tyler Myers back to the puck. Sends it high around the glass, far side for JT Miller. Had to settle it with his glove. Scoops it to center for Besser. He tips it to Soucy, left wing, who will dump it behind the Edmonton goal. Brett Kulak, far corner. Pushed to the boards by Besser. Miller's in to help out. Tried to get it free, but gave it away. And the Oilers come ahead to center. Draisaitl left wing to the red line, dumps it in, chases down Soucy in the corner, but Soucy fended him off well, got it back to Zadorov. Kane tried to run him over. Zadorov stepped out of the way. Canucks can't clear. Kane left corner in front. Draisaitl fanned on a wide open one-time chance on the slot. Now it's sent back out front for Holloway, who missed it. Couple of near misses for the Canucks, and Suter clears it back into the Oilers zone. Kane in his own end. Near side for Kulak, and again to Evander Kane. A couple of former Vancouver Giants playing pass. Now here's Ryan McLeod, left wing. Into the Canucks zone, dumps it to the corner. Tied up on the boards by Myers. It's played loose by Joshua for Bluger, and back to Joshua, right wing to center. Tried to play it into the Edmonton end, but Nurse knocked it down with his hand. McLeod touched it. It's a hand pass against Edmonton. 3:02 left first period. A 1-all tie in Game 6. The Canucks and the Oilers from Rogers Place on Alpine Credits Canucks Playoff Hockey, streaming on the Sportsnet app and along the Sportsnet radio network.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
The 2024 Outlander PHEV is now in stock. The world's best-selling plug-in hybrid vehicle is now more efficient, more powerful, and more sophisticated than ever, with rates starting from 4.49% plus the industry's best warranty. Elevate your everyday. Make new tracks at Applewood Mitsubishi in the Richmond Auto Mall or at applewoodmitsubishi.ca.
Your business is more than just numbers. It's years of hard work, dreams, and passion. But in the midst of the hustle, have you taken the time to understand its true worth? Crow's trusted advisors can help. With global expertise across a wide variety of industries, let Crow uncover the real value of your business. Redefine your company's success. Visit crowmackay.ca to learn more. Crow. Smart decisions, lasting value.
This is Alpine Credits Canucks Playoff Hockey.
Down the right way, he shoots and scores!
On the official home of the Canucks, Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
3 minutes and 2 seconds left in the first period tonight in Edmonton. Canucks and Oilers are tied at 1 in Game 6. Brendan Batchelor and Randeep Janda with you. Stay tuned for Canucks Central at the intermission with Satyar Shah, Bick Nazar, and Landon Ferraro pinch hitting for Brett Festerling tonight. We'll go to the guys right at the end of the period for their instant analysis. Face off of the Oiler line, one forward into the Edmonton zone. Teddy Bluger pokes it past Bouchard into the corner, but Ekholm flips it out to center. And Joshua will dump it back in on Skinner, who grabs it and leaves for Ekholm behind the Oiler net. Matthias Ekholm, left wing to center, try to pass to the Canuck line that was tipped away from Nugent Hopkins by Joshua, and Quinn Hughes goes back to it on the end boards. Hughes passes out to center. It's tipped to the Edmonton line. Bouchard tried a centering feed. Broken up by Garland, and he'll clear it behind the net in the Oilers' zone. Bouchard back to it. Will set up the breakout while the teams complete changes. Evan Bouchard taking his time. Right wing to center for Nugent Hopkins. Into the Vancouver zone. Delays on the half wall. Back to Bouchard. One-time drive. He elevated it over the crossbar. But Pettersson scoops it far side for Lindholm. He's out to center. He's got a step on Ekholm. Lindholm, right wing with a lane to the net. Drives wide and tried to do the same thing that Garland did on Stuart Skinner in the Game 1 comeback, as he waited and then attempted to sweep it between the legs, but Skinner was ready this time and covered up for the whistle.
He saw an opening there, but Stuart Skinner closed it really quickly. But this play starts at the defensive blue line for the Canucks as Mattias Ekholm he gets caught in no man's land. He kind of just delays there at the blue line, can't make a play going forward, and then is caught flat-footed the other way. Good speed by Lindholm to lean into it and forces a pretty decent save from Skinner, who doesn't bite too hard on the open up.
Oilers win the draw in their own zone. Draisaitl got it back for Cody Ceci. Passes right wing to center. Derek Ryan tips it in deep. Ryan McLeod's got it left corner as Chris Knobloch blends his lines early here. Or maybe he just had Draisaitl out for the draw, because he's since gone off on a change. Hronek at his own line, settles a bouncing puck, passes to center for DiGiuseppe. Tipped it into the Oilers zone. Miller's after Kulak on the forecheck. He got it free from McLeod near side. Now to Ryan, right wing at center, and he'll clear it into the Vancouver zone. 95 seconds left, first period. Game 6 is tied at 1. As Fogle finishes his check on Hronek deep in the zone, but the Canucks come to center. Hughes right wing into the Oilers zone, passes high slot for Besser. Couldn't handle the puck. And it's cleared back to center by McLeod, who sweeps it into the Vancouver zone so the Oilers can change. Hronek flips it right wing for Garland. At the Oiler line, lost the puck to Darnell Nurse. And plays it back to center. Evander Kane sweeps it into the zone for Draisaitl. Now to Holloway, right circle with a shot right on, but Sheilov saw it all the way and holds on for the whistle.
And Evander Kane charging towards the front of the net after that shot. He's trying to be a physical presence in this game. Actually did a pretty good job in Game 4. In Game 5, he tried to, but Nikita Zadorov checked him pretty good. But there has been, a physical start to this game. The Oilers have been aggressive, taking a couple of penalties, but they're trying to make sure that Vancouver doesn't run away with the lead in the physicality, because you want to dictate this game. You want to make sure that you don't get the opposition time and space. So both teams kind of leaning into this one.
Canucks averaging more than 42 hits per game in the series, while the Oilers have only averaged about 28. Edmonton wins the draw in the Vancouver zone. Shot for the left point, blocked by Pettersson. Here come the Canucks 3-on-2 if they hurry. Pettersson to the Oiler line. Stripped to the puck on the back check by Holloway. Bouchard got it free to Draisaitl, and he'll pass left wing to center for Brett Kulak. Into the Canuck end, lost the puck to Zadorov. He throws it back the other way. DiGiuseppe tried to tie up Bouchard. Pettersson fires it in on Skinner from center. He blocked it and got it to Bouchard in the near corner. Stood up by Lindholm. He leaves below the goal line for Draisaitl. Chased down by Joshua. Draisaitl far side for Kulak. Now to Bouchard. Right wing to center. Dumps it cross ice into the left corner, but it tips off a stick. And out of play, 21.4 seconds remaining in a 1-all tie here in the first period of Game 6. The Canucks and the Oilers at Rogers Place.
And I don't have to tell you the importance of this part of the period, whether it's the first period, second period, or late in regulation. Both of these teams have been able to strike. A goal at this point, a chance at this point, goes a long way and can be a bit of a backbreaker for the team that you score on. You don't want to give up goals at this juncture.
McDavid's line out against Bluger's line. Face off at the Vancouver line. Near boards to our right. Shots are even at 4 apiece, so it's been more low event than we've seen for most of this series here in the first period. And Bluger wins the draw. Back to Carson Soucy. Across to Tyler Myers, far boards. He flips it high in the air. All the way down. Bluger couldn't win the race in on the forecheck. He doesn't like that call, though. Looks to the linesman immediately, but Ceci got back to it. Ceci and Soucy on the ice together, a real tongue twister, and the Canucks will have the face-off in their own end.
Yeah, say that 5 times, but this is a big opportunity for the Oilers. They got 15.5 seconds. They've got their big guns out there. Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman. and their top defenseman.
And Connor McDavid,
and
too.
Of course, Connor McDavid, when 29 and 18 are out there, 97's hanging out there as well.
Big face-off here. Blueger and Draisaitl to take it to the right of Shelovs with 15 seconds left in the first period. And Draisaitl's going to be thrown out of the draw, so McDavid will step in instead. But Blueger wins it cleanly to the end board. Soucy chips it to the corner. Hyman after it is leaned on by Myers. It comes to McDavid behind the net. McDavid trying to wriggle free. Blueger's right on him. 7 seconds left in the period. Back to Nurse. Dumps it behind the goal. Comes to Draisaitl right corner. 3 seconds left. High slot. Bouchard, one-timer, they score! It's waved off by the referee immediately, though, as Artur Shelovs was bowled into. Leon Draisaitl is chasing down the official. He does not like this. And we'll see if there's a review here, but the call on the ice was an immediate no-goal from Garrett Rank. And we'll hear his explanation now in front of the penalty boxes.
The call on the ice is no goal due to incidental contact with the goalkeeper in his goal crease, and he was not allowed to play his position.
That's a great explanation for Garrett Rank. We don't usually get explanations that thorough from the referees. He called it incidental contact, said Shelovs was not able to play his position, and the Oilers thought that they had taken the lead with about 0.5 of a second left, but it's McDavid on top of Shelovs who falls to the ice. And I'll be interested to see if there's a challenge here, because McDavid is engaged in a battle with Blueger in front of the net.
Yeah, with this sort of scenario, the shot goes in, Bouchard, and it seems like Blueger just kind of leans into McDavid a little bit, but the question is how much. And remember, this was called no goal. Shelovs was not set. As he was trying to get into that position, McDavid bumps into him. And after last night in the Dallas-Colorado game, where it looked like it shouldn't have been goaltender interference, and it was called goaltender interference, nobody really knows at this point.
Oilers are not choosing to challenge this. So they've added or put up 0.8 of a second on the clock here. Face-off outside the Vancouver line. Puck is dropped in. And that'll do it for the first period. Canucks dodge a bullet late, and it's 1-1 after 1 in Game 6.
And even though it was low event to a certain degree, the high danger chances that both teams had were right in the middle of the ice. So there's some quality chances, but the Canucks with a good counterpunch to tie up this game. And most importantly for Vancouver, it was Elias Pettersson and Niels Höglander that combined for that goal, giving that line some more confidence. This should be a heck of a game batch with this start. Very fast-paced, high energy. Looking forward to the rest of this one.
The Canucks and Oilers tied at 1 after 1 in Game 6 from Rogers Place in Edmonton, and it's time for Canucks Central at the intermission with Satyar Shah, Bick Nazar, and Landon Ferraro.
This is Canucks Central at the intermission on the official home of the Canucks, Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
McDavid trying to wriggle free. Blueger's right on him. 7 seconds left in the period. Back to Nurse. Dumps it behind the goal. Comes to Draisaitl right corner. 3 seconds left. High slot. Bouchard, one-timer, they score! It's waved off by the referee immediately, though, as Artur Shelovs was bowled into. Leon Draisaitl is chasing down the official. He does not like this. And we'll see if there's a review here, but the call on the ice was an immediate no-goal from Garrett Rank. And we'll hear his explanation now in front of the penalty boxes.
The call on the ice is no goal due to incidental contact with the goalkeeper in his goal crease, and he was not allowed to play his position.
Canucks and Oilers remain tied at 1 through the first 20 minutes, and this is Canucks Central at the intermission on Sportsnet 650. It's Satyar Shah with Landon Ferraro and Bick Nazar. Landon stepping in here. He's been on our shows throughout the season and the postseason. But let's go to Edmonton, where we're joined outside the Canucks locker room by Teddy Blueger. Teddy, thanks for joining us. How did you guys feel about that first period? You guys didn't give Edmonton too much. I know they got the goal disallowed late, but you guys feel pretty good about how you played the first generally?
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, it's good to get that answer back pretty quick after they scored. Overall, not bad. I mean, had a couple good offensive zone shifts, but we just got to build on that and make that kind of more consistent.
The last 40 minutes of the last game is when you guys took over. What's important to do that heading into these 40 minutes?
I think just mindset, just make sure we're working. We're make sure we know our defensive assignments and executing. And then when we get the puck, executing, limiting our turnovers, especially off the transition. They're a dangerous offensive team. They like to jump in the rush with their D. So, obviously, the more we can limit them to have the puck, the better.
as you head back into the dressing room here for the intermission, what do you think? What is going to be said to you have a chance to close out tonight, but at the same time you need to make sure you stick to everything here. Like, what do you think is going to be said when you get back in there?
Yeah, probably nothing about that. I mean, I think just a couple adjustments that we can make based off the first period, and then just to keep it going. Just encourage each other. And I mean, it's a situation we've been in a lot in this playoff, so nothing new for us there. So just kind of stay on it, make the tweaks that we need to, and go from there.
Yeah, you guys have been very comfortable in close games. And Teddy, thanks for your time, man. Best of luck the rest of the game.
All right, thank you.
That is Canucks forward Teddy Bluger playing alongside Connor Garland and Dakota Joshua here tonight. 1-1 tie through the first 20 minutes. And guys, it was one of those periods where, hey, good fortune for the Canucks, where I guess, it's not good fortune if it's goalie interference. And it's clear goalie interference for anybody listening that hasn't watched this and heard it on the radio call. And, the guys did a good job of describing it. But when you watch the replay, it's a clear goalie interference call. So there's really nothing here that you should be upset about if you're an Oilers fan. I'm sure they will be. And there's nothing for you to apologize for as a Canucks fan. There's no controversy to this one like there was last night in overtime between Dallas and Colorado.
People are upset, though, if you're Canucks fans, because McDavid was jumping, as people have texted in here.
Is that a charge? Is that a charge?
Based on the precedent that was set, he left his feet and went into Artur Shilov's. But yeah, it's clean as day, especially after what we saw yesterday. If you're going to be consistent with what you saw in Dallas, you got to be able to call that one immediately no goal.
Yeah, I mean, as guys are asking, because this is a point of contention everywhere of what is and what isn't goalie interference.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's something the league could show at the beginning of the year next year, of the one last night saying, well, we probably might have messed this one up, and this is not goalie interference, and the one tonight is a perfect example of incidental contact, no penalty, but Silovs can't make the play and he can't make the save, so it's done.
Yeah, it does help the Canucks. It remains tied through the first 20 minutes. Now, before we break down a lot of different things we saw, let's get to the goals we saw in this. The ones that counted. We went through the one that did not count. It was Edmonton opening up the scoring, and it was a player blazing through the Vancouver Canucks, making Pettersson and Quinn Hughes not look very great. But it wasn't Connor McDavid. It was Dylan Holloway.
Yeah, one of the rare times they've gotten speed through the neutral zone, and Holloway it looks like just come off a set play and just takes it up the wall, and Pettersson gets a stick on it, but is it finishing the play? And I thought Hughes kind of takes a weird angle, but you were pointing out, Landon, it's how he's relating to what Pettersson is doing on Holloway.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pettersson was a little bit slow reading that. Obviously the puck's going to be coming to the speed outside, and if he can read that a little bit quicker, he takes a step over quicker, and now he has his hands. He has McLeod's hands or Holloway's hands right on his back, right? So now the puck squirts to Hughes, and now he's comfortable moving along. And we were talking, like, the Canucks are a very confident team right now, but the issue that can come in there is, Hughes is expecting Pettersson, because he is there to make the play. The puck is going to come to him. So now he jumps to the outside, which allows Holloway to get right back into the inside when he doesn't get the puck off.
I guess that's one of the downside of trust there, I suppose, to some extent, a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can't play the game expecting your teammates to make a mistake everywhere. You have to trust that he's a good player. He knows our system. He knows what's happening. And at the end of the day, he was a little bit late, and he just missed the poke. Like, more times than not, he's going to make that play.
Yeah.
It happens. It's hockey. Mistakes are going to happen. But yeah, I mean, it's something that you have to make sure you don't fully trust it. Like, you got to wait that extra half second, especially in a game 6 where you have a chance to close out. You don't need to be jumping outside.
No, that's a good point. And Dylan Holloway has had an active series. He's been able to generate speed. He's been able to get some of these chances. He just hasn't been able to finish these chances off. And this one, he was able to get past.
It's strange. He's had 3-on-2 opportunities where he's coming up the wing, and he's such a good skater. This is one, it's 5v5, basically. You got to generate the speed, and it just kind of works so well in this sequence that he's able to dart inside of Quinn Hughes there.
Yeah, but the Canucks do a good job of responding pretty quickly there, right? And it's Elias Pettersson, not the best play. Now, I don't mind him going for the puck, but it's not making that complete play and finishing it off. However, he does play a big part into tying this game. Not too long afterwards, working the puck behind the net, finding Niels Höglander, who takes a couple whacks at it, but finally beats Stuart Skinner.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, I think the biggest part of that play is, we're obviously watching Pettersson since last game with a lot more confidence and a lot more comfortable with the puck. He gets gets down to the corner into the left side corner, and he makes it's the slightest little move, but it's another little pull, and he clears a bit of space, and he allows himself to get to behind the net. And then because he has the vision that he has, he finds that stick, and it's nice to see it go in and not off the post like last game.
That little hesitation move that he does, you see as soon as he pulls away from McLeod, 4 eyes are on Pettersson, and nobody's picking up Höglander as he's rotating into the slot because all this attention is on him. Nurse peels off the inside post, anticipating a wraparound, and just that little space because all the attention's on Pettersson. It's well done. And actually, even before this, Höglander, good play in the defensive zone, right? So much of the focus
by
is
the
on
blue
him.
line,
By the blue line, holds a puck. Pettersson supports it, chases after a loose puck there. Höglander does on the zone entry. So a detail for Höglander to get right that I'm sure the coach will be very impressed with as well.
Well, you need confidence. Höglander is a player that, his first playoffs, right? This is the first goal he scored, had a tremendous regular season, healthy scratch a couple of games, played better last game, but the coach said there's more in your game. You got to feel pretty good when you get your first one in the playoffs, especially when you've had a couple healthy scratches this series.
For sure. I mean, I played one playoff series and I had one real chance to score, and it obviously did not go in. But even just being that close was so exciting. Like, you've been waiting forever to do this. And, in his instance, he's had some really good chances. He's been around the net. He's learning. Like, we always talk about how the playoffs is a new season. It's a different thing. And, as much as it is a bit of a cliche, it's 100% true. Like, a player comes over, especially from Europe, where he's coming from the big ice to the small ice, and he needs to learn how to play over here. It takes a little bit. And then he kind of figures it out. Okay, well, now we'll throw playoffs at you. You got to figure it out again, and it's a good step for him.
Yeah, and they had a couple of decent shifts, and it was nice to see Nils Höglander get his first goal of the postseason. And the Canucks afterwards had some juice, and Pius Suter had a chance to give them a 2-1 lead. The Canucks worked the puck well down low. There was an empty net for him, just shoots it wide. But afterwards, the Canucks started generating some more quality looks on Stuart Skinner. Not a lot of shots on goal, but you saw him tilt the ice a bit more.
Yeah, but they also traded chances as well, right? There's the Suter chance, and Draisaitl has this one clean in the middle of the ice, set up by Kane. You think of all the people you want to leave open in the series right now. It's Leon Draisaitl, and it's just like the ice monster just gets him. The puck just kind of slides a little bit, rolls a little bit right when it gets to him, and it goes to the left of Sheelos, and you kind of just breathe a sigh of relief on that one.
For sure. I mean, the hard part too in the situation the Canucks are in right now is you're so excited to be that guy to send the team through to the next round, and you need to keep kind of pushing it into the back of your head, because at the end of the day you have to just do your job that shift. And if there's a puck battle, just worry about the next 5 seconds, win that puck battle to move to the next part. So, you can't be forcing plays right now if you're the Canucks. You have a team in Edmonton that, of course, they have to win tonight. Let them make all the chances, right? Like, let them make the mistake, and then because the Canucks skate so well, take advantage then.
Yeah, it put the pressure on them, right? And you can kind of see that with the crowd as well, and all the pressure on Edmonton tonight.
It was interesting that you asked Teddy that, right? Because that's essentially the mindset. It's you can just wait, especially in a tie game. You can just play this out and wait for them to feel the intensity and feel the pressure of, hey, like, we're the ones that have to be the ones that come away with it. Saw a boxing match earlier. It's like a challenger has to take it away from the champion. They're the ones that have to go and win this game, whereas Canucks can just wait for the opportunity.
But I think the big thing on that is you're 100% right, but at the same time, there's a difference between sitting back and letting them make that mistake and playing your game and forcing them into that mistake, because they don't, until that breakaway goal there, like, they really hadn't got to the inside yet. And there was one mistake, and now they get to the inside and they score. So you're playing a team that's obviously very opportunistic. You can't expect the Canucks to be perfect by any means, but at the same time, all those easy chances can't happen. You have to make sure they go through 5 of you to get that chance.
Speaking of the urgency for Oilers, we're keeping an eye on ice time here. 7:57 for McDavid. He did take a penalty, obviously, limits his ice time a little bit. Leon Draisaitl sitting at 5:42, so a little bit less for him, but they're going for their big usage guys. And Sam Carrick, who stepped in the lineup, 1:16. So you just see it's like they're going to be burning the boats, basically. basically.
The one thing, yeah, they will. And you mentioned McDavid, his ice time somewhat reduced because the Canucks had 2 power plays in the first period. Maybe the one low point of the first period was the man advantage for the Vancouver Canucks. 2 opportunities, Draisaitl and McDavid being the 2 culprits on both penalties the Vancouver Canucks drew, but they weren't really able to generate much of anything on him, and they had a hard time just getting set up, guys.
Yeah, we had talked last Thursday of, the power play being just a little mechanical. They're trying to find those set plays that you work on in practice. And again, those are very important. You need to have a general concept. But at the same time, they win the first faceoff. Hughes gets the puck right on the corner of the blue line. How about we get to the middle? Yeah. Spread them out, make them move, because now he stays locked in, doesn't take a step on the blue line, and throws it down to Garland, who hasn't taken a step because there's nowhere to go.
And they're stationary.
If he comes up the boards, right, he's going to be skating right into Hughes. So, if he can get to the middle and then throw it back, now that cross-ice pass Garland tried to make actually has a chance to get there. But if you don't move, it's really easy for the PK to just stand there and put a stick in the way.
Yeah, and that's something they have to take advantage of. You get a chance on the power play again, and we'll see what happens. Canucks and Oilers tied at 1 through the first 20 minutes. Randeep and Batch, they have your second period call from Edmonton. That's next. Sat, Bick, and Landon Ferraro will be back on the second intermission on home of your Canucks, Sportsnet 650.
Play where the Canucks play. Northview Golf and Country Club, the official golf course of the Vancouver Canucks, and home of the Jake Milford Canucks Charity Invitational, featuring 2 championship courses designed by the king himself, Arnold Palmer, and the host site of 7 years of PGA Tour history. Whether you play the Ridge or Canal, it's West Coast golf at its finest, and finish your day in Duffy's Sports Grill. Book your tee time now at northviewgolf.com, created by a legend, open to all.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
I have super-powered debt consolidation and human-powered rhymes. I met a homeowner. His name was Brett. He had a few bills, but don't you fret. Home equity loans is my skill set. Consolidating bills, that's what you get.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
What are you reading?
The email with detailed pricing on Parksville 96 in Surrey. This is awesome, and they're on sale now.
Are you going for the luxury package or the investor pricing?
One of each. A place to live and a mortgage helper down the road.
I can't believe the location and amenities. The park, SkyTrain, and so much to do right in the building.
And I can walk to work at the hospital and save a ton on gas and commuting time.
Let's do it.
Your feet, the silent workhorses of your body. They've danced you through life's highs, sprinted you through challenges, even stood firm on the green for that last putt. But even the strongest of supporters need support. That's where Kintec comes in. Not just with shoes, but with custom orthotics that ensure every step is aligned and comfortable. Visit kintec.net and discover how orthotics can transform your every step.
In today's modern world, there are still a few time-honored traditions.
Hey Insiders, thanks for being here for the Vancouver Canucks and the Edmonton Oilers. This chat is on fire. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here and you haven't done so already. If you have and you are part of the 20,000 plus that have done that, thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button. And a big shout out to all of the members here that we see on the list over here to the side. Thank you all for being a part of this awesome community here on Toronto Sports Insider. Keep it up in the chat. We'll talk to you guys real soon.
Small, you'll receive the respect and support you deserve. Visit one of Avenue Machinery and Douglas Lake Equipment's 6 BC locations or explore DLEAMC.com.
Blue Jays legend Buck Martinez is coming to the net.
Swing and a drive. Get up, Buck.
Meet Buck and catch a C's game on Tuesday, May 28th as the Pacific Toyota Dealers Superstar Series continues. Get your tickets now at CanadiansBaseball.com.
BCers love hockey, and they also love burgers. What's even better is saving 20% off takeout during the playoffs. Order White Spot online and save 20% off with code SAVE20. Not valid on May 12th, June 16th, or on Pirate Packs and alcohol. Only at whitespot.ca.
Hey, this is Thatcher Demko.
CC with a one-timer. Good save by Demko down low. Rebound chance for Evander Kane. Demko stopped that, too.
And you're on the home of the Canucks, Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back inside Rogers Place in Edmonton, where the Canucks and Oilers are tied at 1 after 1. And we'll go to the second period momentarily. Brendan Batchelor and Randeep Janda with you. And Randeep, the Canucks did a good job on McDavid and Draisaitl in the first period.
And there's a couple of things when you play against these two players, you have to make sure that you're not giving away the puck. But the other thing is cutting out the speed in the neutral zone. And in a period that the Oilers tried to push the pace, what happened was you still had one rush attempt for Connor McDavid's line, no shot attempts, and no high danger chances. That's a good formula for the Canucks. They're going to have to continue that here in the second period.
Vancouver in white will skate from left to right in the second. The Oilers in blue will go from right to left. And again, it's the Miller line and the McLeod line, so Chris Knobloch continues with that matchup to begin the middle frame. Miller and McLeod at center. And McLeod wins the draw to Vincent Desharnais, right wing at center. Cleared it into the Vancouver zone, but JT Miller back to it. Passes left wing to the red line, out of the reach of Besser. And this is icing against Vancouver. 9 seconds in to this second period. Game 6, tied at a goal apiece.
JT Miller played just over 6.5 minutes in the first period. And the Oilers trying to play him a little bit more physical, especially in the offensive zone. He's been a real force for this Vancouver Canucks team, and it seems like the Oilers want to target him at least through 20 minutes.
McLeod wins the faceoff at the Vancouver end. Left point for Nurse. Dumps it behind the Vancouver goal. Hugh Suter after it far boards. Chipped it up in the air. Desharnais couldn't hold on to it, and Miller pounds it off the boards. This will be another icing call as it rolls all the way down the ice. And the way that first period was played benefits the Canucks, I think it's fair to say. Vancouver will have to be disciplined the rest of the way because they've had 2 power plays. The Oilers haven't had any yet, but in such a low event period, that's the kind of game the Canucks want to play in.
It was a low event period. That's the type of period you want if you're the Canucks, but there were a couple of half chances you have to be extremely careful of. Leon Draisaitl had a great chance in the slot, and he just flat out missed the puck. But a couple of danger chances right in front of the net.
Brock Besser left wing to the Oiler line, tied up by Ekholm, chipped it in deep, and Zach Hyman is pressured by JT Miller on the end boards. Miller fighting for the puck with McDavid and Hyman. Hoglander off the bench in to help out. It comes right wing side for Tyler Myers. He spins it back behind the net for Miller. Watched by Bouchard, left corner. Feeds the line for Soucy. Long slap shot. Pettersson tried to tip it in the slot, but it went wide of the net, and Draisaitl's got it near side. Behind the play, Miller's tangled up with one of the Oilers as Hoglander holds in the Edmonton line. Lost his glove in a battle with Draisaitl. Continues to fight for the puck. Hyman can't clear. Pettersson held in. As all sorts of extracurriculars are taking place on this shift, and now Draisaitl skates left wing to center. Pokes it up the boards for Ekholm, who flips it into the right corner in the Vancouver end, and the Oilers complete a change.
And JT Miller was battling with Evan Bouchard. Bouchard ended up keeping JT Miller's stick as the battle went on for about 10 seconds behind the play.
CC hits Joshua into the end boards in the Oilers zone. Bluger was taken down in a battle with Holloway. It comes back to the line for Hughes. Right side Hronek doesn't have a shooting lane, then flings it to the net, and it was tipped wide by Bluger in front. Joshua left wing trying to steer it back deep, but it deflects over the glass and out of play. 1:38 into the second period. Canucks and Oilers tied at 1 in Game 6.
And as I mentioned earlier on, the Oilers are trying to battle with JT Miller. He's one of the top power forwards in the game. You've got a couple in these playoffs, but Miller and Bouchard just battling cross checks in the corner from Bouchard, and then just really tackles him in the blue paint right next to Stuart Skinner. How no penalties were called on the play, I'm not sure, as it was going back and forth, and most of it cross checks from Evan Bouchard.
Battle left corner in the Oilers zone off the faceoff. And Teddy Bluger's got it right wing side. Spins it behind the net for Niels Oman. Rather, it was Podkolzin that played it to Oman, as it's the fourth line of the Canucks on the ice now. Oilers clear to center, and Zadorov dumps it back in. Skinner out of his net to handle. Passes up the near side. Kulak missed it. Held in by Podkolzin on the boards. But Janmark gets it free, and he'll skate to the red line. Cleared it into the Vancouver zone. Batted down by Myers for Oman. Chipped it free to Podkolzin. He plays it to center. Puck is hopping all over the place. And the Oilers play it back into the Vancouver end. Sam Carrick hit hard into the end boards by Zadorov. This is going to be a Vancouver penalty, though. Zadorov doesn't like it, but they're going to call it holding on the big Vancouver defenseman, and Edmonton will get its first power play of the evening. 2:19 into the second period with the game tied at 1.
And Nikita Zadorov skating over to the penalty box right now.
Anyone minor penalty holding?
And given the referee an earful as he does, I don't see the holding on this play. If you want to call it interference, maybe hitting Carrick before he gets to the puck.
Maybe a high stick, too, on the initial
Yeah, there's
engagement.
no holding on that play whatsoever. Doesn't grab onto him. Really glances the right hand over the right shoulder, but nonetheless, it's a penalty on the Vancouver Canucks.
Carrick sold it pretty well, give him credit. And the Oilers get their first power play of the night. Edmonton 5 for 15 in the series, but the Oilers went 0 for 5 in Game 5. And we'll see if they've added some different wrinkles to their power play to try and respond after the Canucks had a good night on the penalty kill. Lindholm and McDavid to take the draw. Near circle in the Vancouver zone to our left. McDavid wins it to Nugent Hopkins. Top of the point for Bouchard. Left wing, Nugent Hopkins. Down low to McDavid. Driving the net. Drops it to Nugent Hopkins. Near circle. Doesn't have a shooting lane. Forced to the boards by Lindholm. He'll feed the line for Bouchard. Back to Nugent Hopkins. Left side. Down low to McDavid. Centering pass. Hyman was there but couldn't tip it home. Draisaitl gets it right wing. Back to Bouchard to the line. Draisaitl into the corner for McDavid. Back to Draisaitl. Tried a shot. Blocked off a stick. It rolls to the near corner. Hronek after it. Pokes it up the boards but can't get it out. Bouchard left point. Passes down low. Nugent Hopkins in the corner. Feeds it up the wall for Draisaitl. Tied up by Bluger. Goes back to Nugent Hopkins. Centering. Pass into the slot. Broken up by Lindholm to the far corner. He plays it up the boards. Bouchard is able to hold in though. High slot. Oilers controlling. Draisaitl gets it from Nugent Hopkins. Left circle. Leon Draisaitl. Passes down low. Nugent Hopkins towards the goal. Back to Draisaitl. One-timer blocked in front by Ian Cole. Luger's after it. Chips it behind his own net. But Nugent Hopkins is first to it in a battle with Hronek, who slashed the stick out of the hands of McDavid. Fans want a penalty. They won't get one. And Hronek clears it all the way down the ice.
It could have been a slashing penalty there, but before that, Ian Cole with a great block to prevent a scoring chance.
McDavid, left wing for Nugent Hopkins to the Vancouver line. Back to McDavid, left corner. Spinning on the boards. Watched by Myers. Goes to Nugent Hopkins. Now to the top of the point, Bouchard. Again to Nugent Hopkins, left circle. Down low, McDavid cutting towards the goal. Behind the net, right wing side. High slot, Bouchard. Trying to pass near circle to Nugent Hopkins. Good active stick by Myers to break it up. Oman's out to center. He'll take his time and dump it into the Oiler end with 30 seconds left in the Edmonton power play.
And a bend but not break PK by the Canucks there with 24 seconds left in this one.
Oilers back to center. McDavid right wing into the Vancouver zone. Shoots, and Shilov's made a great save off his blocker to turn it over the glass and out of play. 4:02 into the second period. 17 seconds left in the Edmonton power play. The Canucks and Oilers are tied at 1 in Game 6.
A couple of very close calls for Vancouver, but two things. They kept their structure in the middle of the net, the middle of the ice, and a big part of that was Hronek and Cole just ensuring that Zach Hyman doesn't get that opportunity. That seam pass is not there, and then the battle level of Ian Cole, who was on the ice for 90 seconds straight on that PK. You have to have some endurance there to battle with Zach Hyman and not give him an inch.
JT Miller wins the faceoff in his own zone. Soucy plays it behind the net, but Fogle jumps onto the loose puck left corner. Pushed to the boards by Soucy. Fogle plays it back deep. Pettersson hits him into the end boards. Miller gets it free far corner. Nice pass ahead for Soucy. He'll dump it all the way down, and that'll do it for the power play. As the Oilers go to 0 for 1 on the man advantage tonight, the Canucks have now killed 7 consecutive Edmonton man advantages in this series. Here's McLeod to the Vancouver line. Drops right wing for Fogle. Down low to McLeod with a one-timer from a very tough angle along the goal line. Shilov's made a good save. Then made another stop on Fogle left circle. Hronek nearly turned it over to Fogle, who would have had a clean lane to the net, but he missed a bouncing puck, and Miller goes far boards for Hughes, who spins back in his own zone to try and settle things down. Now Hronek passes to center for Suter. Right wing feed. Tipped in deep by Miller. Suter's after it on the forecheck. Chips it away from Ceci to the left corner for Besser. Pinned to the wall by Sam Carrick. Besser lost his stick, but the Canucks keep it in the zone. Miller spins it down the boards. Besser protecting the puck from Carrick. On the wall. Dumps it to Suter. Behind the net of Stuart Skinner. Suter to the right circle. Ian Cole back to Suter. Behind the net. Again to Cole. Right wing hash marks. Takes a shot. Tough angle. It was blocked. Comes back to Cole. He'll feed the line for Quinn Hughes. Top of the point. Hughes with a wrist shot through traffic. Skinner made the save and pounces on the rebound to get the whistle. 5:18 into the second period. It's still a 1-1 tie between the Canucks and Oilers in Game 6.
And that is a big save by Stuart Skinner. His teammates were tired in front of him. Darnell Nurse and Cody Ceci were out there for nearly a minute 20. 1:25 for Darnell Nurse. So making sure they got a whistle there was important, especially when you got the JT Miller line opposite trying to work off the cycle.
Shots in this second period are 3-2 in favor of the Oilers. And Archer Shilovs had a good blocker save on that Edmonton power play as the Canucks have survived the first Oilers man advantage of the evening. And Bluger wins the faceoff of the Edmonton zone, but jumping forward off the draws of Evander Kane, right wing to center. He'll skate into the Vancouver zone, makes a move, high slot, tried a long shot, blocked by Zadorov to the corner. He pokes it free for Bluger. Pinned to the boards by Kane. Chips it back behind his own net, and Quinn Hughes is after it. Knocked down on the forecheck as Dylan Holloway got in after the puck, but the Canucks will come to center nonetheless. Garland, left wing to the red line, steers it in deep. Bluger chases down Kulak on the forecheck. Kulak got it free to Desharnais. Up the far side for Holloway. Rink wide left wing to center for Evander Kane. Bobbled the puck. Is pushed to the boards by Hronek. And the Oilers are ruled offside at the Vancouver blue line. 5:49 into this second period. The Canucks won and the Oilers won in Game 6 from Rogers Place in Edmonton, Alberta.
And the beauty of any playoff matchup is the battle within the battle. And 91 versus 91 has been a key one where one game it looks like Nikita Zadorov lays some big hits on Evander Kane. Tonight, Evander Kane, every opportunity he gets, it doesn't have to be a huge hit. It could be just a simple cross-check as Zadorov's off balance just to knock him off. This game within the game between these two guys, you can tell that they don't like each other, whether it's in media or on the ice, and it's actually fascinating to watch.
And it's been a back and forth battle of chirping throughout the series too, as we've seen. Canucks dump it into the Oilers zone. Lindholm and Pettersson on the forecheck. Ceci after it far corner, hit by Höglander. Pettersson after the puck lost it to Derek Ryan, and Ryan McLeod lifts it to the Canuck blue line. Hronek in his own end. Passes right wing. Pettersson tips it deep. Skinner is out of the goal. And we'll have time to control behind his own net. Skinner leaves for Ceci. Passes right wing to center for McLeod. Into the Vancouver zone. Drops to Fogle. Right circle trying to drive the goal. Held out by Shilovs. It rolled through the crease to the near side. Pettersson settles the puck and lifts it past McLeod to center. 3-on-2 for the Canucks if they hurry. Miller right wing. Drops to Höglander near circle. Shoots. It was blocked and rolled into the high slot. But it's picked up by the Oilers, and it's Derek Ryan back to center. Middle of the ice for Bouchard up in the rush. Shoots for the right circle. Stopped by Shilovs. He falls on the loose puck out of the crease to cover and get the whistle. And the faceoff will be in the Vancouver zone when we return. 6:46 into the second. It's a 1-1 tie in Game 6 between the Canucks and the Oilers at Rogers Place. On Alpine Credits, Canucks Playoff Hockey on Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Max's Bakery and Deli is celebrating their sweet 75th. Come in today to enjoy a wide selection of freshly baked decadent pastries and desserts. Or if you're planning an event, let Max's Bakery and Deli cater it for you. They offer convenient delivery options too. Delight your taste buds and grab a treat at Max's Bakery and Deli, celebrating 75 years as Vancouver's ultimate sweet escape. Open daily 6:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. at 3105 Oak Street, or visit them online at maxsdeli.ca.
The road trips are coming.
The road trips are coming.
Do you hear that? The road trips are coming.
Hey, it's Jeff, owner at Turn 3 Autosport. It's time to get road trip ready by getting your spring service done. Experience an exceptional alternative to the dealer and book your appointment today to hit the road running. Our team's passion and commitment will have you wondering why you didn't visit us sooner.
Turn 3 Autosport, born out of a passion. In Langley and at turn3autosport.com.
Your feet, the silent workhorses of your body. They've danced you through life's highs, sprinted you through challenges, even stood firm on the green for that last putt. But even the strongest of supporters need support. That's where Kintec comes in. Not just with shoes, but with custom orthotics that ensure every step is aligned and comfortable. Visit kintec.net and discover how orthotics can transform your every step.
Hey, this is Connor Garland, and you're on the home of the Canucks. Sportsnet 650.
You're listening to Alpine Credits Canucks playoff hockey on Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network. Own your home. Alpine Credits can get your loan approved. Alpine Credits homeowners get approved. Visit alpinecredits.ca. 6:46 elapsed in the second period. Tonight in Edmonton, Canucks and Oilers in a 1-1 tie in Game 6. Vancouver leads the series 3-2. Face off of the Vancouver zone to our left, far circle. Won by Miller from McDavid. Comes to Myers behind the net. He lifts it around the glass near side. But Matthias Ekholm dumps it back in. Miller on the far boards. Leaves below his own goal line for Soucy. Pressured by McDavid. Got it up the wall for Miller. Centering pass. Tipped to center by Pius Suter. Ekholm clears it the other way. Myers knocks it down at his own line, but it comes to McDavid. Nice feed to the right circle. Hyman with a shot. His right arm. Now Nugent-Hopkins behind the net for McDavid on the right wing side. Centering pass. Hyman shoots. Sheeloff stopped it, but it rolls in. Zach Hyman didn't get all of that one, but Artur Sheelov's didn't either. And the Oilers have the lead back. It's 2-1.
The Canucks eating pressure, and it looked like Sheelovs had saved them on making a save on Hyman early on the blocker's side. But the Canucks aren't able to get possession, and then Connor McDavid finds Zach Hyman in the middle of the ice. Doesn't get all of the puck, but goes glove hand side on Sheelovs between the body and the glove. And Carson Soucy trying to dive to make a save to help out his goaltender. But unfortunately for the Canucks, the puck squeaks loose into the net.
Zach Hyman didn't have a point in his last 3 games, but he scores his team-leading 10th of the playoffs at 7:14 of the second period to make it 2-1 Edmonton. The time of the goal is brought to you by Crow, your trusted advisors for 55 years. Learn more at crowmackay.ca. Oilers with it back in the Vancouver zone. Desharnais right point, long shot, missed the net. Found to the near side by Lindholm, and he clears it off the glass and out to center. Nurse at his own line for Desharnais. Left wing for Janmark with room. Into the Vancouver zone. Top of the circle. Fanned on a slap shot. It rolled wide of the net. Then is tipped back into the crease. Canucks sprawling in front of the net to try and clear it. That was a strange play. But they get it to the corner. Now Connor Brown feeds the line for Darnell Nurse. Left point. Back to Brown on the near boards. Tried a shot. It's blocked by Pettersson. And he'll skate it to center himself. Pettersson, middle of the ice into the Oilers zone. Tried to make a move. Lost the puck. And Carrick leaves for Nurse down low. Darnell Nurse, left wing to the red line, bounces it in on Sheelovs. He'll leave it for Ian Cole behind his own goal. Knocked into the end boards by Holloway. DiGiuseppe back to help out, gets it to Cole. Now up the near side for Lindholm, and he'll use the sand wedge to get it past Kulak, but it rolls all the way down, and it's icing against the Canucks. 8:18 into the second period. Edmonton leads Vancouver 2-1 in Game 6.
And the Oilers are bringing the heat right now. Even before that second goal for them, an aggressive forecheck that has woken up this crowd. And now the Canucks also have a tired line out there. 4 or 5 skaters have been out there for over a minute.
But Lindholm wins the draw from Draisaitl. Back to Ian Cole, rims it around to the far boards. DiGiuseppe banks it out to center. It is the long change here in the second period. And Pettersson's the only Canuck able to get off. As Draisaitl brings it back in across the Vancouver line, but it's offside, and now the Canucks will be able to get the line change that they need. 8.5 minutes into this second period, Edmonton up 2-1.
And this is the danger of the second period here in Edmonton. Once they ramp up the forecheck and they start coming at you in waves, it is that long change. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to relieve pressure, flip it up into the neutral zone. What that does is it keeps the same line on the ice as the Oilers are able to change.
Ceci gets it at center, takes a long shot in on Sheelovs, who he only just stopped it with a blocker, but now the Canucks are back to center. Garland right wing to the Oiler line, dumps it past Kulak behind the net, and Joshua's after it left corner. Pushed to the wall by Ceci. Comes loose to Holloway. Tried a centering pass, settled by Ceci. D to Kulak near board, slips it to center. Hronek missed it, and Hughes has to go back to it, chased down by Draisaitl. Hughes behind his own goal, taking a couple of whacks from Draisaitl. Flips it out to center, and now here's Garland to the Oiler line on left wing. Makes a move, high slot, passes right circle. Hronek shoots right on. Skinner made the save off the blocker. He's bumped into by Joshua and Ceci, but is back on his feet. Canucks still have it in the zone. Joshua behind the Oiler net to the right corner. Being leaned on by Kulak. Plays behind the goal for Garland. He'll bank it left point for Carson Soucy. Long shot, wide of the net. And it deflects out of play. Good pushback shift from the Canucks. Down 2-1 here, 9:23 into the second.
And some boos in the arena as Dakota Joshua drives the middle of the net and accidentally on purpose throws an Edmonton player into Stuart Skinner. By any means necessary, you want to throw the goalie off their game, and there's a lot of slashing going on the ice. Quinn Hughes chased by Leon Draisaitl and then thumped by Evander Kane. And the defender in question was Cody Ceci that collided into Stuart Skinner. With a little help, of course.
I don't think this was intentional by Joshua. He was driving the middle of the ice, collided with Ceci, and then Stuart Skinner gave a little bit of extra oomph to his fall, shall we say.
Hey, they protect goalies in this league, so why not? Take a chance, right?
Oilers win the draw in their own zone. Desharnais plays it near corner, but it's found by Podkolzin for the Canucks. Vasily Podkolzin down low to Di Giuseppe. Back to Podkolzin, right wing. Pushed to the boards by Carrick. Oman in to help out in the battle, but McLeod plays it free for Nurse, and he'll skate it out to center. Left wing for McLeod into the Vancouver zone. Near circle, Sam Carrick with a shot missed past the stick side of Shelovs, and Podkolzin on the far side gets the puck and flips it high in the air to center ice. Di Giuseppe couldn't find it as he didn't know where it was going to come down. Oilers dump it back in. Hughes has it far corner. Passes right wing to center for Di Giuseppe. He gains the red line and dumps it in. Podkolzin goes after Desharnais on the forecheck, hits him into the end boards. But the Oilers get it loose far corner. Warren Fogle. Left wing to center for Edmonton. Takes a long shot wide of the goal of Shelovs. Hughes is back to it far corner. Tied up on the boards by Derek Ryan, but Oman gets it loose. Here's Di Giuseppe out to center. Couldn't receive the pass, and Ekholm plays it across to Bouchard. Now to McDavid with a burst of speed. Right wing to the Vancouver line. Watched by Hughes. McDavid high slot. Left circle. Ekholm shoots. Stopped by Shelovs. Rebound is cleared from the slot to the near corner. It's rimmed back to the right point. Bouchard holds in. His long shot was blocked off a skate. And rolls to the near side half wall. McDavid plays down low to Hyman in the corner. Zach Hyman spinning on the boards. Already with a goal tonight to put the Oilers ahead. Hyman behind the Vancouver net to the right circle for Nugent Hopkins. Back to the line for Matthias Ekholm. Middle of the ice, Bouchard. Right circle, McDavid settles the pass. Top of the point, watched by Suter and Hughes. McDavid spinning, tried to dump it into the zone, gave it away to Besser, and he's able to get it off the boards and out to center. Now Suter breaks up a pass. Here's a foot race to the Oiler line. Suter chased down by Bouchard, couldn't get to the net, and Ekholm flips it the other way. Here's McDavid left wing into the Canucks zone, pushed wide by Myers. McDavid, top of the circle, down low. Hyman with a one-timer. He wired that one off the outside of the post. Now McDavid again to the line for Bouchard. Heavy drive. He scores! Evan Bouchard stepped into that one from the point. And the Oilers extend their lead, a crucial goal for them in Game 6. It's 3-1.
88-mile-per-hour shot by Evan Bouchard, and they go low to high on this one. As Evan Bouchard gets the pass from the left-hand side and has room to operate. There's a couple of Canucks in the shooting lane, but this one goes right through the traffic and past Artur Shelovs, hits the post, and it looks like it might bounce out, but no, pops right in there. And it's now 3-1 with that Bouch bomb.
His fifth of the playoffs comes at 11:20 of the second period. The time of the goal is brought to you by Crow, your trusted advisors for 55 years. Learn more at crowmackay.ca. Canucks win the ensuing face-off at center in what is now a raucous Rogers Place with the Oilers up by 2. Brown brings it in left wing across the Vancouver line, but it's offside on the faceoff. Will come out when we return. 8.5 minutes left second period. It's Edmonton 3 and Vancouver 1 in Game 6 on Alpine Credits Canucks Playoff Hockey, streaming on the Sportsnet app and along the Sportsnet radio network.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Coming soon to a backyard near you. Just when you thought it was safe to go outside, they're not here for the flowers. They're here for you. They're coming for your food. They're coming for your fun. And if you resist, they will attack. Wasps. Protect your home with Westside Pest Control. Westside Pest Control has the tools and know-how to eliminate your wasp problem. Don't live in fear. WestsidePestControl.com.
On a team, the guys scoring are just as important as the guys stopping the other side from doing the same. That's how the West Coast Auto Group has built their elite team. At West Coast Toyota, Mazda, Nissan, Kia, and Ford Lincoln, the cars are the offense, and their great service department is the defense, preventing breakdowns and keeping you in the game. Elite from top to bottom. The West Coast Auto Group, just over the bridge in Maple Ridge. Visit them online at westcoastautogroup.com.
Hey, this is Connor Garland.
It's 4-0 Canucks with 6:41 left in the second.
And you're on the home of the Canucks, Sportsnet Radio Network.
Have you welcomed a little Sonic into your life? Sonic 104.9 is Vancouver's new alternative radio station, and they have tickets to every Canucks home playoff game that you could win. Listen weekday mornings for the details on Sonic 104.9. 8.5 minutes left, second period tonight in Edmonton. The Oilers lead the Canucks 3-1 in Game 6. Vancouver's up 3-2 in the series. Oilers win a faceoff. Here's Evander Kane, high slot into the Vancouver zone. Got a soft backhander to the net, held out by Shelovs. And now Cody Ceci holds in right point. He and Cole behind the net. Chips it far wall. Di Giuseppe after it. Protects it from Draisaitl. And the Canucks have 4 players in the rush. Di Giuseppe floats it left corner into the Oilers zone. Miller's after it on the forecheck, battling with Kulak down low. But Draisaitl on the back check gets it free for Edmonton. Makes a nice pass out to center for Ceci. Cody Ceci, right wing to the Vancouver line. Forced wide by Zadorov to the corner. Tried to dump it behind the net. It hit the referee, and Di Giuseppe plays it up the wall. Ceci knocks it down. Right wing hash marks. Try to pass behind the net. Tip through to Evander Kane. Attempted a wraparound, but couldn't get it out front, and Shelovs covers up at the near post.
And the Oilers really bringing it here in the second period. Shots on goal are 10-2 for Edmonton. It's not only the shots, it's the way that they're getting pressure on the Vancouver Canucks, stacking shifts and just hitting them wave after wave. And the problem with that is that you're not able to get a change. And on top of that, Edmonton's able to come in to the zone with speed, which is keeping the Canucks flat-footed, and they're really playing on the back foot here, all defense, so unable to get a change. But on top of that, there's a real speed disadvantage once you're not able to get the puck deep.
Only 2 shots in the period for the Canucks, as you said, only 6 in the hockey game as a whole, and we had it as one of our keys that they need to try to get to Stuart Skinner. You got to test him a lot more than they have if you want to do that. Quinn Hughes near corner in his own end, lifts it off the glass to center. Ekholm bats it back into the Vancouver zone. Shelovs out of his crease, is going to cover up and get the whistle. And the Oilers will have a face-off in the Vancouver end. Canucks shouldn't be able to change either here, but they're going to let them, as I believe this puck was flipped in from well outside the zone and potentially on the other side of center too. But the officials don't agree, and I'm up here and they're down there, so I'll leave it at that.
They make the call. They're NHL referees. I understand you've done some officiating too, but
not for a long time, though, and not at a high level.
I was going to say, I don't think that experience really matters to them.
No.
I appreciate it, though. They don't.
Why, thank you. 7:29 left, second period. Oilers up 3-1. Face-off in the Vancouver zone, won by Dakota Joshua behind his own net to Carson Soucy. Far boards for JT Miller. Miller to center for Myers, right wing to the Oiler line. Carried down the boards, was poked off the puck. But McLeod can't clear. Now Joshua tries to center, bounces to Miller. It was in his skates. He tried to get a shot away. It was tipped wide of the net as we're seeing Miller between Joshua and Garland here. Shot for the line by Zadorov, tipped wide of the net by Miller in front. Now there's a battle for it near boards. Garland on the wall. Fighting for the puck with Nurse. Comes back for Myers. Tried a shot. It was blocked. Bounces into the slot. Desharnais kicks it free. And Warren Fogle accelerates left wing to center and dumps it in, with Nurse and Garland still going at each other behind the play. Now Myers flips it out to center. Garland's got it right wing of the red line. Tried to slam it in deep. Fanned on the attempt. Nugent Hopkins ties him up. But Garland bounces loose. Engages with Kulak. And now he'll bring it right wing into the Oilers zone, but he's going to get called. Garland doesn't like this. And now he and Bouchard have to be separated by the linesman. And the Oilers are going to go to their second power play of the game with a chance to build on a 3-1 lead.
Number 8, minor penalty for roughing.
And Connor Garland trying to be a spark plug for his team. Shoulder-to-shoulder hit on Kulak. But after, gets him in a bit of a headlock and tosses him down. A headlock that George the Animal Steele would be proud of. But unfortunately, You can't do that in hockey, but I can understand what Connor Garland's trying to do. He's trying to bring that intensity. That's why Rick Tocchet put him with JT Miller and Dakota Joshua. Physical players that don't back down in battles, but unfortunately went a little too far there.
Second power play of the game for the Oilers. They're 0 for 1, and they could really break this game open if they can cash in on this man advantage. Draisaitl wins the draw. Left point for Bouchard. To the right circle, Nugent Hopkins. Down low, McDavid, centering pass. Broken up by Teddy Bluger. Took too long to clear, and McDavid stole it from him. Back to Nugent Hopkins, right wing. Now to the line for Bouchard. Again to Nugent Hopkins, right circle. Down low into the corner for Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl tried a shot and hit the outside of the net. And Nugent Hopkins gets it to Bouchard, right wing. He'll spin it back behind the goal for Hyman. Now to Nugent Hopkins, left corner. Hit into the boards by Lindholm, and Ian Cole gets it free. Canucks have numbers in the rush to center, shorthanded. Cole, right wing to the Oiler line. Stripped of the puck on the back check by McDavid. And Nugent Hopkins is back into the Canuck end on left wing. Drop to Draisaitl, try to centering pass blocked by Bluger, and it deflects out of play. With 5:58 left of the second period, 1:22 remaining in the Oiler power play. Edmonton leads Vancouver 3-1 in Game 6.
1 minute and 22 seconds left on this Edmonton Oilers power play, and the Canucks really in this second period now and for the rest of this game have to match the desperation of Edmonton. They've come out swinging here in the second period, and they've got the best of the Canucks. Now the Canucks need to bring that as well.
Miller and Draisaitl on the draw near circle. Miller wins it back to the corner and fires it quickly around the boards and all the way down the ice. And he'll go off on a change, as will Elias Pettersson, with Joshua and Oman hopping out over the boards. Bouchard to center. Leaves in his own end for McDavid. Picking up speed to the Vancouver line. McDavid left boards for Nugent Hopkins on the wall. Back to Bouchard to the point. Out to the right circle for Draisaitl. Away from the play. There's another Canuck penalty, though, as Shelovs makes a save. Soucy touches the puck, but Hyman goes down in a heap in the slot. And he got engaged in a battle with Joshua, who caught him up high with the stick. It's a 2-minute penalty for high sticking against Dakota Joshua, and this will be a 55-second 5-on-3 for the Edmonton Oilers power play.
You knew the power plays were going to come at some point, and this is Zach Hyman just driving the middle of the ice. Dakota Joshua gets in front of him, is trying to avoid the interference penalty, but once he lifts his stick up to say, hey, I'm not doing anything, he actually clips Zach Hyman in the face, really with and on the middle part of his stick, so it's not even the blade. It's just unfortunate. And now for 55 seconds, the Canucks are going to have to kill the first penalty, the Garland penalty. And this is going to be a real dangerous part because the next goal is so important in this game.
This is a key face-off. It'll be Lindholm against McDavid with Draisaitl thrown out of the circle to the right of Shelovs in the Vancouver zone. A clear would kill off half of this 5-on-3, and Lindholm wins it back to Myers. Threw it through the middle, but it's batted out of midair. Draisaitl held it in the zone for McDavid left wing. Back to Draisaitl at the line. For McDavid, taking time. Left point. Down low to Nugent Hopkins, bottom of the left circle. Centering pass was blocked by a sprawling Soucy, and Shelovs covers up in the crease. 41 seconds left in the two-man advantage. 5:17 left in the second period. Oilers up 3-1 in Game 6.
Normally when you win a draw on the PK, that's a good sign. Unfortunately, Tyler Myers, rather than zipping the puck 200 feet down the ice, he kind of floats it, and some good hand-eye coordination there at the blue line. Looked like it could have been borderline high sticking.
Now Draisaitl wins the draw. Back to Bouchard, top of the point. Left circle, McDavid. Down low to Nugent Hopkins. Back to McDavid, far side. Draisaitl, one-timer blocked by Soucy. It went wide of the net. Nugent Hopkins again to Draisaitl, right wing. Holding on to the puck, try to pass through the slot. Tipped by Lindholm to the near boards. McDavid gets it. Just over 20 seconds left of the 5-on-3. Bouchard fakes a shot left wing. McDavid trying to pass through the slot. Broken up by Elias Lindholm, and he clears it all the way back down the ice.
Massive clear for the Canucks as there's now 10 seconds left in the first penalty.
McDavid to the Vancouver line on left wing. Leaves for Nugent Hopkins. Carries down the boards. Drops it back to Bouchard, top of the point. Now to McDavid, left wing through to the goal. It was tipped wide in front by Hyman. Garland's out of the box. It's a 5-on-4 for the Oilers. Garland near side ties up McDavid. It comes loose to Nugent Hopkins, tried to center. Pass was blocked by Hronek in front, and Bouchard holds in near point for Nugent Hopkins with room, top of the left circle. Passes down low to McDavid. He'll take it behind the Vancouver net. McDavid out the right wing side to Draisaitl in the corner. Leon Draisaitl, rink-wide pass. Good stick in the lane by Teddy Bluger, and he tips it out to center. And the Oilers have to regroup again. 35 seconds left in their power play. Draisaitl, top of the right circle. Watched by Myers. Draisaitl to McDavid. Right corner. Into the high slot. Poke check by Garland. Bouchard holds in for McDavid with room. Right wing towards the net. Down low. Draisaitl. A one-timer off the outside of the goal. Deflects behind the net. Now McDavid gets it free. To the line for Bouchard. High slot. Slap shot. Missed the net. Nobody knows where the puck is. It went high in the air. Draisaitl tried to bat it out of midair towards the net, but he swung and missed. Canucks can't clear. Bouchard holds in. 5 seconds left of the power play. To Draisaitl, right circle, trying to pass down low, tipped away by Myers. McDavid on the end wall is hit into the boards, but keeps the puck. Joshua's back onto the ice. The Canucks have killed the penalty. Bouchard high slot with a shot blocked by Garland. Comes to Draisaitl in the right corner. Watched by Tyler Myers. Draisaitl leaves. Right side, Nurse to the net. Stopped by Shelovs. It was loose in the crease, and Hronek clears it, but all the way back down the ice. And this exhausted Canucks line won't be able to change. Myers has been out there for 2 minutes and 53 seconds. Bluger a minute 40. Hronek a minute 36. Garland a minute 22. And Joshua 18 seconds because he came out of the box.
And Philip Hronek on one knee right now. Dead tired alongside Tyler Myers, but credit to Connor Garland, who does not kill penalties normally, came out of the box there, and not only did he kill that penalty, a key block shot in that sequence.
The only good news for the Canucks is that all the Oilers' top players have gone off the ice because they were out there for that entire power play.
And Connor Garland not on the Canucks bench after blocking that shot, so they were able to sub on a player.
As Garland has gone down the tunnel, they get Miller out there. That's a favorable bounce for them, to say the least. And here they come to center, 3-on-2. Teddy Bluger to the Oiler line. Makes a move, left circle. JT Miller shoots, stopped by Skinner with the glove, and he'll hold for the whistle. 3 minutes left in the second period. It's the Oilers 3 and the Canucks 1 in Game 6. On Alpine Credits, Canucks Playoff Hockey on Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Carter Honda is on the bandwagon, and it's game time, saving the best deals for the playoffs. Lease a new Honda Civic or HRV from just 3.49% with plenty 2.99%. And yes, that includes the CRV hybrid model. Come in and ask about the playoff package at Carter Honda, 8th and Burrard, and CarterHonda.com. Let's go!
Hey, it's Kevin Woodley, and there's nothing better than driving to a playoff game when the sun is out, except maybe doing it in the completely redesigned 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe, with a bold modern appearance and luxurious interior that now includes a standard third row of seating for 7. That's enough room for all the goalies and their gear, no matter how many you need, or for everyone hopping back on the playoff bandwagon. Check out the gorgeous new 2024 Santa Fe at White Rock Hyundai, or visit them today at whiterockhyundai.com.
Need gifts for the techie dad who has it all? The foodie dad craving something new? Or even the sporty, stylish dad? TSC has everything you need. With top Father's Day gifts that'll make dad smile all year long. Save up to 25% on a hand-picked collection of tech.
Hey you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, have you? I didn't think so. Come on, hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to this game, show some support and hit that subscribe button and help this community keep growing on its way up to 100,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of you who have hit that button already, and welcome to everybody who's brand new and is doing that right now. See you guys back in the chat.
Limit play within it. 3 minutes left, second period in Game 6. The Oilers lead the Canucks 3-1. Face-off in the Edmonton zone to our right, far circle. JT Miller to take it against Ryan McLeod. And McLeod wins the draw back to Nurse, clears it around the near boards, and out to center. Zadorov back to it, chased down by McLeod on the forecheck. Takes it into the corner and bats it free up the near side for Pius Suter. Suter, right wing to the red line for Miller, cleared it into the Oilers zone. Puck is bouncing, and he's slew-footed by Derek Ryan. This is going to be an Oiler penalty. Canucks head into the power play with Shelovs off to the bench for the extra attacker for the moment. Pius Suter has it right circle, watched by Fogle. Goes back to Zadorov at the line. Now to Hughes, left point. Down the wall for JT Miller. Miller delaying on the half boards, watched by Derek Ryan. Try to pass through the slot, got it to Zadorov, right circle. Back to Hughes at the line. Again to Zadorov, near boards. Rink-wide pass to Miller, left wing, shot pass into the slot. Suter tried to tip it on, but deflected it off his own skate. McLeod touches it. And with 2:16 left in the second period, it's a big opportunity for the Canucks, trailing the Oilers 3-1, and Derek Ryan heads to the box for tripping. Or they'll call it hooking, actually.
And this happens right as JT Miller enters the zone. And there's 2 infractions, and it probably is the right call here as Ryan leads with the stick, and that drags down Miller. It looked like originally a slew foot, but I think the stick ended up having more of an impact on JT's fall.
Third power play of the game for the Canucks. They're 0 for 2. They could really use a goal right now to cut into the 2-goal Oiler lead here late in the second. Lindholm to take the draw near circle against Nugent Hopkins in the Oilers zone. And Lindholm won it, but Pettersson missed it on the boards, and Mattias Ekholm clears it the full length of the ice. Shilov's out of the net, drops to Quinn Hughes. He'll carry up the left wing, pursued by Nugent Hopkins. And he'll lead for Elias Pettersson with speed left wing to the Oiler line. Flips it to Miller into the zone, dumps it to the corner. Pettersson's after it on the forecheck. Tried to dump it behind the goal. It's tied up by Ekholm on the boards. Now Janmark in the far corner. Pins it to the wall. Pettersson trying to dig it free. Besser's in there too. Desharnais tying up Pettersson. Oilers doing a good job killing time here in their own zone as the Canucks try to get it free, but they do so. Miller feeds the line for Hughes. Left point, settling the puck to the far circle. Miller with a high shot. Stopped off the blocker by Skinner. Pettersson trying to protect it from Desharnais is pinned to the end boards again. Ekholm gets it loose, and it's cleared middle of the ice all the way down by Nugent Hopkins.
Anytime the puck is going into the corners, the Oilers are winning those battles.
Hughes in his own end for Lindholm. Passes through the middle to Pettersson. Dumps it into the Oilers zone. We got a penalty here, though. Arm in the air from the official. They're calling too many players on the ice. And I didn't see this one. Which team is it?
Edmonton, bench minor. Too many players on the ice.
And this is a huge opportunity for the Canucks now. A 56-second 5-on-3 to try and cut into the Oiler lead.
Edmonton got a 5-on-3, and now it's Vancouver's turn, as they did have 5 skaters on the ice. The problem is you can't have that when you're on the penalty kill. So an excellent opportunity here as Zach Hyman is going to serve this penalty for the Edmonton Oilers. And by the looks of it, Vancouver might be having one of these teams are calling a timeout here. I would suspect it's Vancouver to get their power play stars to really get a little bit more time, get them some rest.
And Rick Tocchet is having a conversation with JT Miller at the bench. It's the Oilers that are all huddled around a whiteboard, and I didn't see which team took the timeout. Based on the way they're reacting, I think it might have been Edmonton, because the Canucks are just chatting casually. They don't have the whiteboard out. They're not trying to draw up a play. They know what they want to do. And it's the Oilers penalty killers, which are going to be Nugent Hopkins, Ekholm, and Desharnais, that we're having a long chat at the bench with the coaching staff.
It also works from a Vancouver perspective as well, as JT Miller had been on the ice for 2 minutes straight. This gives them a bit of a rest, and you keep them out there longer for maybe the full 56 at the very least on that first power play and beyond.
Miller to take the draw against Nugent Hopkins. Left circle in the Oilers zone. Nugent Hopkins wins it back to Ekholm. Cleared it to center, but Pettersson bats it down to prevent it from going all the way down and dumps it back in on the end boards. Miller meets it left wing. Bobbles the puck. Pressured by Nugent Hopkins. Got it loose to Lindholm. Top of the point for Hughes with room. High slot. Left circle. Miller passes to the right wing. It hopped over Pettersson's stick behind the goal, but Besser digs it loose to Miller again, left wing side. JT Miller to Quinn Hughes. High slot. Back to Miller. Left wing. Down low to Lindholm. In the left wing corner, bottom of the circle, passes high slot to Hughes, settles, shoots. I think that caught the crossbar, and it deflects out of play. 36 seconds left in the period, 20 seconds left in the Canucks 5-on-3. The Oilers lead 3-1 in Game 6. And Quinn Hughes did indeed rattle that one off the crossbar and out of play.
He got some torque on that one as well. A wrister that came in with nearly 80 miles per hour, but a good opportunity with 36 seconds left and only 20 seconds left in that original penalty.
Canucks need a bit more urgency here from the 5-on-3.
Got to win this draw. The last draw Edmonton won.
It's Miller and Nugent Hopkins to take it. To the right of Stuart Skinner. Scrambled draw. Comes high slot for Pettersson. Drops it back to Hughes, left point. Now to Pettersson. Right circle. Again to Hughes. Middle of the ice to Miller. Left wing back to Hughes. One-timer. He missed the net. Miller's got it left corner. 10 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Around to the right wing for Pettersson. Bobbled the puck, but holds in the zone. Pettersson to Miller. Left wing. Shot pass, bounced off. Besser skate in front. Lindholm couldn't scoop it home. Nugent Hopkins has it. Passes it to Ryan. Would have been on a breakaway out of the box, but he missed it and it rolled in deep. Derek Ryan has it behind the Vancouver net. Pinned to the end boards by Lindholm. Tried a centering pass block by Pettersson. Dying seconds of the period. And the middle frame draws to a close. Canucks still have 48 seconds left on the power play to begin the third period, but they concede twice in the middle frame. Zach Hyman and Evan Bouchard scoring for the Oilers. And Edmonton leads 3-1 after 40 minutes in Game 6.
And that's a period where Edmonton took control. Not only did they score, but they tilted the rink, stacking shifts. 14-5 were the shots on goal and really absorbing pressure. That's what the Canucks were doing in that second period. They have a good opportunity to start off the third period, but got to get that power play going as they haven't been able to score yet. But this is another opportunity where you can get back into this game by executing early in the third.
Time for Canucks Central at the intermission with Satyar Shah, Bick Nazar, and Landon Ferraro.
This is Canucks Central at the intermission on the official home of the Canucks. Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
McDavid, top of the circle, down low. Hyman with a one-timer. He wired that one off the outside of the post. Now McDavid again to the line for Bouchard. Heavy drive. He scores! Evan Bouchard stepped into that one from the point. And the Oilers extend their lead. A crucial goal for them in Game 6. It's 3-1.
88-mile-per-hour shot.
Edmonton with a 3-1 lead on the Vancouver Canucks in Game 6. Canucks hold a 3-2 series lead, and this is Canucks Central at the intermission on Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network. Satyar Shah with Bick Nazar and Landon Ferraro. Get your thoughts into our Dunbar Lumber text inbox, 650-650, and we'll get to some of your comments. A lot of frustration on the text inbox. They need to shoot the puck, man, as one text message says, especially on the man advantage. A lot happened in that second period, so let's just dive right into it. Edmonton, they took a 2-1 lead, guys, and after they scored, they seriously tilted the ice in their favor. It was all Edmonton up until the very end of that second period.
Yeah, the building comes alive, and I imagine it's just easy to move that way when the home team is backing you and the home crowd, and they just looked like they were flying up and down the ice. Shots were 14-5 through that period, and it just looked easy at times on the entries. And look, it helps when you're playing McDavid 8 minutes in that period, but it just looks a lot simpler for the Oilers and a lot tougher, obviously, for Vancouver.
Yeah, and it's almost a complete role reversal of last game, right? Like the second period, shots were completely outnumbered in the Canucks' favor, and now it's flipped the other way. And you mentioned the crowd getting into it, and just like the Canucks had at Rogers the other night, and the Oilers are getting it here, but like there's very few feelings of when your crowd is behind you and you have that just energy that's coming off of it and you feed off it and you don't realize how much it gives you, but man, like it's an extra gear for sure, and it showed that period.
Absolutely. And when Edmonton does kind of tilt the ice in their favor, they can be very difficult, and it was Zach Hyman giving them the 2-1 lead, and it comes after some sustained pressure by Edmonton in the Canuck zone, and eventually they get a look that they want, but the coverage maybe wanes a little bit here on this one.
It's really unlucky because Rick Tocchet has mentioned this so often of you can't let one mistake lead to the next mistake, lead to the next mistake, and it's Sheilov does a great job on the first initial save on Hyman, gets the right elbow, it goes to the boards, and JT goes to pressure Ryan Nugent-Hopkins in that moment, and if JT's leaving the middle, well, someone's got to fill in some space, and when McDavid gets that puck back down low on the rim down, it's Brock's trying to get there late, and Soucy doesn't know which spot to go, and Myers is a bit slow to close out. And it's one thing leads to another, leads to another.
Yeah, and then the biggest thing is communication at that point, right? So as the puck gets moved down and McDavid has it behind, Myers decides I'm not going to chase him behind the net because that's not how you play the defensive zone. So he cuts back up front, but as soon as he decides I'm not going, he needs to be yelling at Soucy, take a step, get moving.
Right.
Because as soon as he takes one step on the angle to cut McDavid off, that probably takes the pass to Hyman away because now he doesn't have that time to look, and it also cuts McDavid's angle back to the net off, right? So communication.
He's pushing him to the corner there.
Yes. Yeah. Just keep pushing it far away from the net as possible, right?
Well, and on that play, Brock Besser gets to Hyman, but he gets a stick on it, but you got to stop there, don't you?
For sure. It's one... he should have been in that position to begin with, right? Like if the puck's behind the net, it's kind of a general, the two wingers, you collapse down to the hash marks, right? Like you each take your side.
Yeah.
And now that kind of clears anything through the middle. Hyman be standing right between. There's no way McDavid makes that pass. But then on top of that, like you said, you can't fly by because you don't know what's going to happen, right? Like Hyman ends up bobbling that puck. Myers goes for the, trying to get all the way down to it where he had a bit more time. But if Besser stops, he's right there. He pokes it away, no issue.
That's that rail that Rick Tocchet always talks about. And that's why I mentioned JT jumping out of that spot. There's nothing wrong with him jumping out to challenge the puck, but someone's got to fill in the gap. And if you're in front of Hyman, you block off the path to Hyman, even getting to that area. And it just... those sequences that Rick Tocchet harps on over and over that the team has done so well at throughout the course of these playoffs and had managed to play the game their way, it just opens up a spot for him there.
Yeah, and it's tough when, in that situation you're saying, it's not bad, for JT to step out there, and it's not. Like, that's fine. He went and closed his guy, but as things are moving around and you're kind of in desperation mode, it gets dangerous when you have a really good idea yourself of, I'll go kill this myself. Right. And again, I'm not saying that was the wrong read. I think it was actually a pretty good read. Like, he went and closed him out. He held him out.
It's a loose puck, right? Yeah.
He's taking his guy out of the play. That's fine. But when you start to get smarter than your own system, and no one else on your line knows what's going on, it makes it really, really tough in the defensive zone.
Yeah, and Edmonton, they really turned the pressure up after scoring that goal. The building came alive, like Bick mentioned, a team that kind of looked a bit nervous after they had the goal disallowed at the end of the first period, maybe feeling like, hey, things are not going our way. And Evan Bouchard, it's a great point shot. So the second goal that goes through Sheilov, it's a bit of a knuckler. It's in close from Hyman. You can excuse those, right? This one, I don't know if he doesn't track it. It doesn't seem to be a ton of traffic, but it's a hard shot by Bouchard at 88 miles an hour, but it seems to go clear through.
Yeah, and it's a tough one because he's, especially, you have to remember, he hadn't been in the playoffs before. He barely had been in the league before, really. And he's come in and done an amazing job. And now he's let in a little weak one, and that's going to happen. But how does he respond? And he seemed to have responded pretty well. Yeah. And, when you have a goalie in net that is newer or, he's kind of figuring it out, like, you have that bit more effort to try and help him, right? Because, he knows that was weak.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to want to try and make that up, but, let's help him out here. And the fact that he's been able to kind of pull himself out of it. Like, it doesn't look like he's, kind of worried about it. It's, I don't know, as a player looking back, I'd be confident looking at him right now, even with that weak goal going in.
The thing that happens to on this goal is there's a long shift, and it's the second period. Guys like Hronek are looking at that bench. It's like, I'm the right-sided teammate. I got to go all the way over there. It just looks like a marathon to get there, and you're out there for so long, and it's the McDavid line. It's not as if some line was out there and they pinned you, and now here comes McDavid. They were out there the whole time, so it's high-stress environment. And even when they get it clear, it doesn't go all the way.
Yeah.
And then you're just stuck there, and here comes this, phenom again, and just wheeling around, and Bouchard gets this massive one-timer off.
I just couldn't imagine as well, though. Like, I've never played goalie. I don't know about you two, but you're standing there.
Not at a very high level, I'll tell you that.
And a 50-goal scorer standing by himself in the slot, and he gets it clean on his stick. You're expecting him to be ripping that on you. Like, I don't know what that looks like when it ends up being a bit of a knuckleball at you. Like, how much harder is that when you're so ready and you're so set to make a 90-mile-an-hour save and it ends up being a 62 little off pitch?
Yeah, no, and that's the thing, and that does make it a lot more challenging, right? And as far as the Canucks the rest of this period, hey, you're down 3-1. We know with Edmonton, too, they've come down from multi-goal deficits already in this series a couple of times. They're very capable in doing so, but it looked like Edmonton was going to have a chance to put this one away. It's 2 consecutive power plays. Now, the first one, Connor Garland gets called for roughing, maybe a little bit questionable. The high stick, well, Dakota Joshua does high stick Zach Hyman. Hyman does help that along, but Landon, do you have to be responsible for your stick there more than anything else?
For sure. I mean, he does grab it and basically high stick himself with it. Like, it's a smart play, right? Like, if you know that there's a lot of movement going on, refs have a tough job, right? Like, if you can make a stick get near your face and you act, do a little act job on it too, like, you're going to get that call. I said it to you two and you got a little laugh out of you, but like, I'm sitting there and thinking, do the Oilers take a timeout?
Yeah.
Like, I know that's not, general thinking,
Right.
but at the same time, those guys have already been on the ice for a minute. They now have a 5-on-3. If you take a timeout, they get a bit of rest, and you can put 1 or 2 in. Like, you ice that game right there. And then it flips the other way where, I think the Canucks grabbed a bit of momentum at the end.
They did. But
it's just unfortunate that their own opportunity kind of takes the buzz out of it.
Yeah, so I mean, the Canucks did a decent job on the PK, good job on the PK, obviously.
Amazing work by Myers. He was out there for 2+ minutes, and Garland. Like, what an unconventional spot for him to be in, coming out of the box, and you got to be there for a minute there.
Well, and that first unit for Edmonton stays out for like over 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's a pause. You don't get a reprieve when those guys are out there. There's no like, hey, if they're going to go for a change, you get the second unit, and the Canucks did a fantastic job killing it, and thought, okay, all right, there's something to feel good about, make the crowd nervous a little bit, and the Canucks get a 5-on-3 of their own. First, Derek Ryan, clear hook on JT Miller. Then Edmonton gets a too many men call, and they have 55 seconds of a 5-on-3 advantage. But like this text message from Jay and Poco says, stop wasting power plays with incessant passing that amount to nothing. Shoot the puck. And the Canucks did shoot the puck, but the shots they got were pretty meager shots from the point from Quinn Hughes, and that's pretty much all they generated.
It's such an interesting contrast to see the Canucks power play, who is not entirely stationary, but it can get a little bit stuck. And the Oilers, they're wheeling all over the place. And look, neither side is having success with goals, but just to see the contrast of the two right now, it just looks so different. And for Vancouver, it's like such an opportunity because you're 2 down.
Yeah, and, it is the last 2 minutes of the period. It's NHL ice where, as a player, you always think as you're moving along levels that, the ice is getting better and better as you go, but, it gets worse and worse. So the puck's not going to be moving clean anyway. Simplify. Like, can we get some shots? There's also, again, like it's, like you said, like it is a bit stationary. It's a 5-on-3. How about we see, a pass from Hughes over to either side, and then he dive through and have someone come up for one time. Like, just a bit of deception.
I'm interested too, because in a 5-on-3, you would imagine you change things a little bit, but it looks exactly the same. Like, Miller's coming down that left wall, and he's trying that diagonal seam pass to Pettersson. It looks the exact same as it is 5-on-4, so you have more space.
Yeah. And again, like, I think that's where, not to just keep saying the same thing, but like just a simple up-down one-timer. Like, you have the 5-on-3, you have whoever's off either side, pass down to him, he throws it back up, you throw it right back down, you one-touch it, and you just dive right through. You grab, you make sure that you get your hip on that, the top forward. You get your hip right on his stick, so now you control, and he can't get back to the lane, and hammer a one-timer. The worst thing that can happen is you put it off one of their D's ankles, and now he's got to feel it for tonight, right? Like, make him feel it. Make him earn every little bit that they're going to get out of this.
Because you're still playing for Game 7 if that situation presents itself.
100%. And anytime, again, like, it's just about not being so predictable, right? Like, if I'm a PKer right now, as long as I don't give up a very easy shot from the side, from one of the flanks, I'm feeling pretty confident, because other than that, they're just trying to rip it through the seams, and it's not there right now.
Well, the Canucks, they still have a power play heading into the third period, about 45 seconds left of their man advantage. So we'll see if they take advantage. Jeffrey on the text inbox says, stressful? Are we coming back? Let's get an early goal on the power play, and we're back in it, right? You would be. And this text from Darcy and Red Deer, we're in great shape for the third. Oilers are surviving with the lead. We prevented them from running away with it. We have a chance. So Canucks, they have a chance. Third period, big one coming up. 3-1 lead for Edmonton. Batcher ran deep with a third period call from Edmonton. That's next on Sportsnet 650.
Navigating the seas of business, the waves can be unpredictable and overwhelming. Stay on course with Crow's trusted advisors. From startups to seasoned enterprises, Crow offers advice that protects and strategies that succeed. Because every smart decision begins with expert advice. Visit crowmackay.ca to learn more. Crow. Smart decisions, lasting value.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live.
Hey Insiders, thanks for being here for the Vancouver Canucks and the Edmonton Oilers. This chat is on fire. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below, Hit that subscribe button if you're new here and you haven't done so already. If you have and you are part of the 20,000 plus that have done that, thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button. And a big shout out to all of the members here that we see on the list over here to the side. Thank you all for being a part of this awesome community here on Toronto Sports Insider. Keep it up in the chat. We'll talk to you guys real soon.
Thought the 94 playoffs were big? What about 2011? Was that big enough for you? Well, now it's 2024 and the boys are ready for another big playoff run. So for every big moment, make sure you're celebrating in a big way with Big West Coast IPA from the Rewind Beer Co. Because big celebrations deserve big, bold West Coast beers. Ask for it today at your local liquor store or visit the Rewind Tasting Room along BC's famed Brewers Row in Port Moody.
Your feet, the silent workhorses of your body. They've danced you through life's highs, sprinted you through challenges, even stood firm on the green for that last putt. But even the strongest of supporters need support. That's where Kintec comes in. Not just with shoes, but with custom orthotics that ensure every step is aligned and comfortable. Visit kintec.net and discover how orthotics can transform your every step.
All right, son, playground time.
Dad, I'm not a child.
I know. We're going to the greatest playground in the world, the great outdoors.
Oh, can we go to Siwash first?
Yep.
This summer, before you head to the hills or the range, gear up at Siwash Sports for the largest selection of optics in the valley, from Zeiss and Vortex to Sig Sauer, Scorpion, Leopold, and Burris. Shop BC's newest Browning and Winchester dealer, the Fraser Valley's Siwash Sports, in Chilliwack and online at siwashsports.ca.
Landlords spend 76 hours managing their property in a year.
That's 19 date nights.
25 hockey games.
And 37...
Dad, let's get some ice cream.
...moments. What could you be doing with your time? At Hope Street, we help busy landlords get their time back. Live life, get paid. Become an armchair landlord today. Hope Street, because life's too short to spend it managing properties.
HopeStreet.ca.
Liquor, you're at home here.
It's playoff time across BC, and Angry Otter Liquor is thrilled to rally with hockey fans on the road to the Cup. Score big at Angry Otter Liquor, your ultimate hockey headquarters. Ice-cold game day beer, spirits for every level of team spirit, and snacks to fuel your victory celebrations. Explore game day essentials with Angry Otter Liquor and celebrate every win with the perfect drink. You don't have to be a member, but it pays to be one. Learn more at angryotterliquor.crs.
This is Alpine Credit's Canucks Playoff Hockey. On the official home of the Canucks, Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back inside Rogers Place in Edmonton. Brendan Batchelor and Randeep Janda with you. The Oilers lead the Canucks 3-1 after 2. And we head to the third period. Vancouver with 48 seconds left on a power play with Zach Hyman in the box to begin the final frame of regulation, and a crucial start to the period with fresh ice to try and get this game to within a goal.
48 seconds left on the power play. You're down 2 goals. You have to, get the puck deep, something that the Canucks haven't been able to do on the power play with consistency. The other aspect is also get shots on Stuart Skinner. They've got 9 shots on goal through this game. You're going to have to up that number if you want to get back in this game. This game is there for the Vancouver Canucks. They just need more zone time, and it starts with the power play.
Nugent Hopkins, Ryan Ekholm, and Desharnais out on the penalty kill. It's the top power play unit for the Canucks. Miller, Besser, Pettersson, Lindholm, and Hughes. Canucks in white going from right to left. Oilers in blue going from left to right. And it's a scrambled face-off at center that is lifted into the Vancouver zone by Derek Ryan. Quinn Hughes from behind his own goal. Drops to Elias Pettersson, trailing the play. Fires it off the end boards. It bounces into the slot. Skinner tipped it away off his stick. And Ekholm fires it around the wall, but Lindholm holds in right point. To the far circle for Brock Besser. Try to pass to the top of the point. Just held in by Pettersson. Nugent Hopkins tried to tip it out of the zone. Now a long shot from the line is deflected wide of the net by Miller. Hughes left corner. Spins it around to Lindholm right circle. 15 seconds left on the power play. To Miller in the corner. Mishandled the puck. Ekholm gets it free. Clears to the line. Besser holds in. But following up is Nugent Hopkins. And he'll skate it out to center and dump it into the Vancouver zone. But it goes straight out of play. And Nugent Hopkins from center fired it straight out of play. They're going to bring the face-off back to the center ice circle, and there is no indication as of right now that this is going to be called a penalty.
No, it isn't. It certainly looks like there's only going to be 4 skaters on the ice, as there were before. With 4 seconds left on this power play, the Canucks need to start getting some zone time here, Batch.
Luger wins the draw back to Soucy at his own line. Hyman's out of the box. And the Canucks go to 0 for 4 on the power play. They dump it into the Oilers' zone. And Kulak's back to it far corner. Overskated the puck, comes to Garland on the wall. Tried a shot that was blocked. And it comes to Hyman. He'll leave for Draisaitl. Left wing for the Vancouver liner. Right wing, Passes left wing for McDavid. Couldn't settle the pass. It rolled into the corner. Rims it around to Draisaitl, right wing side. Leon Draisaitl protected the puck from Soucy. Goes back to the line for Bouchard. Now to McDavid, right corner. Hit into the boards by Myers. And cleared out of the zone by Joshua. Kulak at center. Sweeps it ahead for McDavid. Again to Brett Kulak in his own zone. Oilers up 3-1. In the third period of Game 6, 90 seconds elapsed in it. Kulak passes left wing for Evander Kane. Tips it behind the Vancouver net. Shelovs is out of the goal. Throws it around the near side glass and out to center. Ceci leaves in his own zone for Nurse. Tried to throw it up the left wing, but it deflects out of play into the bench, and the Canucks will have an offensive zone face-off in the Oiler end.
And the way that this game has been played, the series has been played, it's usually that Vancouver that is playing the more physical hockey, but in this game, 36 hits for the Edmonton Oilers, which is 11 more than Vancouver. So they've really been dictating the physicality, and most of it's been in the offensive end. It's been aggressive on the forecheck.
Miller, Pettersson, and Garland out together for the offensive zone faceoff with Hughes and Hronek. So Rick Tocchet getting out the Travis Green line blender, which has now made its way to Ottawa.
Canadian made.
Absolutely. And Miller wins the draw from Draisaitl, far circle. Back to Hughes at the line, left point. Hronek with a shot that was blocked wide of the net by Holloway. And Miller recovers it left circle. Try to centering pass behind Pettersson. Evander Kane chips it out to center. Draisaitl's onto it. 2-on-1 for the Oilers. Leon Draisaitl, left wing, delays, shoots. Held out by Shelovs on the goal line. It was between his legs, but didn't roll in. And he covers up and gets the whistle. That was very, very close.
And it looked like it was going to trickle in. The way that Leon Draisaitl coming down the left-hand side, and Shelovs squeezes, doesn't know where the puck is. At first he's thinking it's maybe near his arm, and then he squeezes the 5-hole, and it's exactly what Draisaitl was going for. How this didn't work its way behind the red line, I'm not sure.
2 minutes into the third period, Oilers up 3-1. Luger against McLeod on the face-off in his own end. But the Oilers win the draw. Nurse, left point, shoots wide of the goal. It bounces back into the slot. Derek Ryan missed it. And Garland gets it free, but is stripped of the puck by Fogle before he could clear the zone. Ian Cole behind his own net. Plays it up the near side. Dakota Joshua is hit by Derek Ryan and dumps it back for Zadorov behind his own goal. Zadorov, right wing for Garland to the red line. Tried to dump it in, but it hit the curved glass at the end of the Oiler bench. And the faceoff will come back into neutral ice.
And one area that was really good for the Canucks in Game 5 was getting the puck out of their own zone. The zone exits were clean. There were no giveaways. Tonight, in the second and third period, Edmonton's brought the pressure, which has made it difficult for Vancouver to leave their own zone. And that really kills your attack because you've got no speed through the neutral zone when you do leave your zone. And the other times in this game, it's been very difficult for them to even exit the zone. That's where the Canucks went back to flipping the puck out, and once you do that, really your offense does not start in the neutral zone. It's just essentially you're relieving the pressure and not creating anything.
And it allows the Oilers to continue to establish their forecheck and roll shifts together. Canucks win the faceoff. Myers takes it behind his own goal. Watched by Janmark. He banks it right wing to center for Pettersson. Tipped it back to Soucy. Now for Höglander, right wing. Into the Oilers zone. Pushed to the boards by Ceci. Pettersson's after it on the forecheck. He's got it right corner. Rims it around the zone, but no one was at the left point as Soucy had gone off on a change. And Quinn Hughes has to take it behind his own net. Carrick runs into Shelovs away from the play. Hughes flips it out to center. Broken up and dumped back in by Nugent Hopkins. Canucks having real trouble transitioning through the neutral zone. Now here's Connor Garland off the bench. Right wing to center. Into the Oilers zone. Driving wide on the wall. Long shot. Stopped up high by Skinner. He spilled a rebound in front, but is able to cover it with a couple of Canucks crashing the crease.
And there is a scrum in front of the net now as Dakota Joshua and Teddy Bluger crash the blue paint, as they should, because Stuart Skinner let out a pretty decent rebound right in front of him. And they get there a half a second too late. But that's what they need to do. They need to have more shots on goal, crash that area.
Skinner didn't look confident on that save.
He didn't. He let that rebound sit there for a second, and that's plenty of time. It was just the Canucks skaters had a long way to go to get to that part of the ice.
Face off to the left of Skinner in the Oilers zone. Blueger and McDavid to take it. McDavid won it back to Ekholm in the corner, and he'll flip it out to the Vancouver line. Batted down by Hyman, but he overskated the puck, and Soucy clears it back to center. Teddy Blueger chipped it up the left wing. Bouchard dumps it the other way. Here's McDavid with speed. Right wing into the Vancouver zone. Near circle, driving wide on Myers. Centering pass in front. They score! Ryan Nugent-Hopkins jams it home at the top of the crease, and it's 4-1 Edmonton in the third period of Game 6.
Burnaby's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins gets that goal, but that is all Connor McDavid attacking from the right-hand side. Ends up taking Tyler Myers, who's to the middle of the ice originally, and has to come out to the last second to attack McDavid, opening up the middle of the ice. And that is an easy goal for Nugent-Hopkins, who gets on the right side of Carson Soucy. 3 primary assists for Connor McDavid in this game.
Nugent-Hopkins with the goal. He is third of the playoffs at 3:25 of the third period. Makes it 4-1 Oilers. The time of the goal is brought to you by Crow, your trusted advisors for 55 years. Learn more at crowmackay.ca. And here's Janmark, left wing to the Vancouver line, pushed wide by Niels Omar. Matthias Janmark with it. Drops left point for Darnell Nurse. He'll carry down the wall. Tight angle shot was tipped wide of the net, and Cece's got it right point. Cody Cece dumps it behind the Vancouver goal. He and Cole finished his check on Sam Carrick, but Connor Brown's got it. To the line for Nurse. Right circle, Cece. Shoots. Shelovs makes the save and covers up in the Vancouver crease with 4:04 gone third period. And the Oilers up 4-1.
And there has been a lot of talk about Connor McDavid on why he wasn't able to produce in the last 3 games prior to this one. 1 assist in 3 games. Well, he's got 3 assists in this game, and he's got that jump. Whatever he may be dealing with, we don't know. Whether it's fatigue, maybe there's an injury, maybe it's an illness. We don't know. Tonight he looks all right, and tonight he's been able to motivate and drive his team in an elimination game for his team, trying to stave off elimination.
Rick Tocchet said he knew that the Oilers' top players would play their best, and McDavid has certainly done so. Canucks to center. Pius Suter left wing to the Oiler line. Passes ahead for Besser, trying to drive the goal. Forced wide by Draisaitl. Besser carries behind the Oiler net. Goes right point for Hronek. Philip Hronek dumps it wide to the net. Besser will chase after it left corner. Pushed to the boards by Cece, and now it's Draisaitl away to center with Evander Kane. Draisaitl left wing for Kane. Into the Canucks zone. Drops high slot for Cece. Tried a shot broken up by Hughes. Got it ahead to Besser. Now the Canucks will try to counterattack, but Besser's pass is out of the reach of Miller, and Kulak takes it back in his own end. Nearly 5 minutes into the third period, Oilers lead the Canucks 4-1. In Game 6, looking to force a Game 7 Monday night back in Vancouver. Kulak banks it left wing for Fogle at the Vancouver line. Wires it into the right corner, but the Oilers are called offside at the Canuck blue line.
And it just hasn't been clean from the Vancouver Canucks. When they have an opportunity to attack off the rush, hasn't been tape-to-tape passes, and the last sequence was a classic example of that, as Besser was trying to hit Miller, and they just weren't able to be on the same page. 10 shots on goal through 45 minutes of hockey. The Canucks need to get together here to get some momentum at least in this game.
Oilers win the faceoff. Desharnais dumps it behind the Vancouver net. Met far corner by Ian Cole. Goes D to D near side for Zadorov. Nice centering feed for Lindholm. Left wing to center for Höglander. Chips it to the Oiler line, and Pettersson will get after it on the forecheck. Nurse back to it first. Goes far wall for McLeod. Threw it up the boards. Fogle played it free to Derek Ryan, and the Oilers clear again. Zadorov from center. Taking time with the puck. Wires it in off the end glass. Nurse is after it far corner. No forecheck from the Canucks. They're changing, and so Nurse will skate it ahead himself. Oilers complete a change too, so Nurse spins back and goes to Desharnais near wall. Vincent Desharnais pushed deep by Blueger. Behind the net for Nurse. Up the far side for Nugent-Hopkins. Rink-wide feed out of the reach of Hyman. Found by Hronek in his own zone. Philip Hronek to center for Blueger. Dumps it into the right corner. Skinner leaves the blue paint to handle. Played it far wall for Matthias Ekholm. Centering pass for Bouchard as the fans enjoy Joshua and Garland colliding with each other in the offensive zone. Hronek back to the puck in his own end. Can't clear. Hyman tried to chip it deep. It bounces off a skate to the line for Ekholm with a long shot that missed the net. Now McDavid, right wing. Clears it into the corner. Teddy Bluger after it. Gave it away to Nugent Hopkins. He'll spin it to McDavid down low. Pushed to the boards by Hughes. McDavid plays it below the goal line. Hronek played it loose. McDavid gets it back. Gave it away to Hronek down low. Ahead for Hughes. Canucks really struggling just to get out of their own zone at the moment, as Hughes has to spin back deep under pressure and leaves behind the net for Philip Hronek. Hronek drops to Hughes. Both teams are changing. Draisaitl will pursue Hughes on the forecheck, who goes behind his own net. Quinn Hughes with the puck. Flips it right wing to center for Vasily Podkolzin. Podkolzin with speed to the Oiler line through the middle. Cuts to the right circle. Driving wide on Kulak to the corner. Delays, passes back to the line for Myers. Long shot blocked by Kane. Comes loose to Draisaitl. He's got a partial break down the right wing. Myers trying to catch up. Draisaitl cutting to the front of the goal. Knocked down by Myers into the net. It knocks it off its moorings. A great play for the Vancouver defenseman as he took away the stick of Draisaitl. Laid his shoulder into him. There was never a shot on goal, but the faceoff will stay in the Vancouver zone, and Draisaitl's a little slow to get back to his feet. 6:53 gone in the third period. It's Edmonton 4 and Vancouver 1 in Game 6 from Rogers Place in Edmonton. And you're listening to Alpine Credits Canucks Playoff Hockey, streaming on the Sportsnet app and along the Sportsnet radio network.
BCers love hockey, and they also love burgers. What's even better is saving 20% off takeout during the playoffs. Order White Spot online and save 20% off with code SAVE20. Not valid on May 12th, June 16th, or on Pirate Packs and Alcohol.
Hey Insiders, TSI Mike here. I just wanted to say thank you all very, very much for helping this community get to 20,000 subscribers. I cannot explain what it means to me. It is absolutely insane to think that we have built such an amazing community. And I say we because I haven't done it myself. I only provide the platform. You guys are amazing in the chat and helping this community grow by sharing this link, hitting that like button, telling your friends, and being subscribers and insiders and part of this group. So thank you all for 20,000 subscribers. Let's keep it going. The next one is 25K. It'll only be a matter of time. I'm hoping by the Stanley Cup Finals we should be there. And hey, 100K, let's get it. 100,000 subscribers is the end goal. Well, for now. Then after that, we'll see. But 100K, let's get going. Thank you all once again. It really means a lot to me and my family. Thank you so much. Back to the action. We'll see you in the chat.
Meet Buck and catch a Seas game on Tuesday, May 28th as the Pacific Toyota Dealers Superstar Series continues. Get your tickets now at CanadiansBaseball.com.
Hey, this is JT Miller, and you're on the home of the Canucks.
Canucks win the draw. Miller scores right off the faceoff. He rips it top shelf.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
You're listening to Alpine Credits Canucks Playoff Hockey on Sportsnet 650 on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Own your home. Alpine Credits can get your loan approved. Alpine Credits homeowners get approved. Visit alpinecredits.ca. 6:53 into the third period. Oilers up 4-1 on the Canucks in Game 6. Vancouver leads the series 3-2. Edmonton out shooting Vancouver 21-10 in the hockey game. Canucks only have one shot thus far in the third, and there'll be a face-off outside the Vancouver blue line near boards to our right. Warren Foegele wins it from Niels Oma. Back to center for Cody Ceci. Dumps it behind the Vancouver net. Shilov's out of the goal, knocks it down, and leaves for Ian Cole on the near side. Cole sweeps it up the boards. Di Giuseppe tipped it out to center. Janmark back into his own end, was chased down by Oma, but got it to center anyway, and Connor Brown lifts it in deep on the right wing side. Janmark far corner, had it poked away from him by Ian Cole. Sam Carrick following up, dumps it to the corner. Niels Oman wins a battle down low with Connor Brown, protected the puck on the boards, played it up the wall, sent back deep by Carrick, and now Janmark rims it around to the right wing side. Ceci pinches in from the line, crunched into the glass by Di Giuseppe. And Carrick lays a hit on Oman in the near corner. They're tangled up. Puck comes behind the net for Zadorov, far side for Ian Cole, and he'll lift it off the glass and out to center to relieve the pressure. Canucks have spent most of this period in their own zone, with the Oilers turning up the heat after an early goal from Nugent Hopkins to extend their lead to 4-1. Bouchard dumps it left wing. It's tipped in deep by Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Hronek behind his own goal. Passes far circle for JT Miller. Miller got it free to Quinn Hughes. He'll accelerate to center, try to pass the miscue Suter, and it's icing against the Canucks, and it's been that kind of night for Vancouver with 8:07 gone in the third period, and the Oilers up 4-1.
Really, it's been disjointed, and a part of that is also Edmonton. They're not sitting back on this lead. They've played this game before where Vancouver, when you sit back or you take your foot off the gas, you know they can attack. So it's been transition attacks. It's been two players going in on the forecheck. They're certainly not switching to a defensive style here in the third period.
McDavid wins the draw from Miller. Left point for Ekholm in the Vancouver zone. Rims it behind the net. Hronek pins it against the boards and is tied up by Hyman. Hughes in to help out. Plays it into space near corner. McDavid after it. Pushed to the boards by Miller. Comes to Hyman behind the net. Spins off a check of Hughes. Tried to center for Nugent Hopkins. He's forced to the corner. Puck caught in his skates. Hughes knocks it free for Suter. And he'll flip it right wing to center for JT Miller. Miller holding on to the puck at his own line. Goes back deep for Hronek. Canucks will complete a change. Hughes across to Hronek at his own line. Passes to center for Pettersson. He'll tip it into the right wing corner. Desharnais able to get back to it. Not much of a forecheck from the Canucks. And Derek Ryan dumps it the other way. This is going to be icing against Edmonton. Although some of the fans don't like the call, Ryan McLeod was in on the forecheck, and the faceoff will come all the way back down the ice.
And the way that this game has been played, the shot clock tells you one thing, 21-10 for Edmonton, but also the possession that the Edmonton Oilers have had in the Vancouver zone. 50% of this game has been played in Vancouver's end. Not the neutral zone, not Edmonton's end, 50% in Vancouver's end. They've been eating a lot of pressure tonight.
Lindholm and McLeod on the draw. To the left of Skinner. McLeod wins it back to Nurse. Behind his own net for Desharnais. Vincent Desharnais got it out to the red line. Batted back by Pettersson. Desharnais again clears to center. And Warren Fogle clears it deep into the Canucks zone. Carson Soucy behind his own net. Backhand pass middle of the ice for Pettersson. Delays at his own line. And now brings it to center himself. Pettersson wires it in on Skinner. A bouncing puck that he turns to the corner. Nurse pushed to the boards by Pettersson. Left for Desharnais near side. Desharnais, middle of the ice for McLeod. Try to pass right wing to center out of the reach of Derek Ryan. Icing's waved off. Zadorov back to it. Takes a hit from Kane, but leaves the puck for Ian Cole on the near side. Now to Zadorov, right wing to center. Makes a move around Draisaitl into the Oilers zone. Right point, Zadorov. Try to centering feed. It bounces into the slot, but it hopped over the stick of Dakota Joshua, and here come the Oilers the other way. Draisaitl, middle of the ice to the Vancouver line. Left circle, Holloway with a low shot. That was kicked out by Shelovs. Evander Kane mishandles it far boards, and Connor Garland pushes it out over the blue line. Holloway back to Kulak at his own line. Right wing for Ceci into the Vancouver zone. Drops to Draisaitl near boards. He'll bank it back to Dylan Holloway. Now to Draisaitl. Try to one-timer along the goal line. Blocked by Oman. Kane gets it back to him right wing side. Now to Evander Kane in the near corner. Back to Draisaitl up the boards. Again to Kane down low. Pinned to the boards by Tyler Myers. Teddy Bluger. Or rather, that was Vasily Podkolzin back to help out. Flips it to center for DiGiuseppe. Right wing of the Oilers zone. Centering pass. Went right to the net, and Skinner kicked it out off the pad. Soucy dumps it behind the goal. DiGiuseppe out the right wing side. Feeds the line for Myers. One-time shot. Missed the target. Soucy's got it again left wing. Plays it behind the goal. Brock Besser right wing side. Feeds the line for JT Miller. Back down the boards for Besser. It rolls behind the net. DiGiuseppe's got it. On the left wing. Phil DiGiuseppe up the board. Cycles it back to Besser. Out the right wing side, chased to the corner by Ceci. Try to bank pass to the point, and Myers is forced to take it out to center. He'll pass to Suter off the bench. Left wing for Hughes. Canucks tag up on the delayed offside, and Hughes is after it on the forecheck. Desharnais back to it. Gave it away to Suter. Flips it left corner for Besser. Back to the line for Myers. With a long wrist shot, tipped in front. Great save by Skinner on the redirect by Suter. Oilers can't clear. Myers to the left point for Hughes. Spinning back to the line, trying to settle a puck. Passes rink wide to the right circle. JT Miller with a shot that was blocked off a stick. It flutters over the goal. And Suter's after it on the end boards. Back to the line for Hughes. Canucks hemming the Oilers in here. Their best sequence of the period. Miller gets a shot near side. But Skinner is square and makes the save. He'll hold on for the whistle. With 8:32 remaining in the third period, the Oilers up 4-1 in Game 6 tonight at Rogers Place against the Vancouver Canucks on Alpine Credits Canucks Playoff Hockey on Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, it's Kevin Woodley, and there's nothing better than driving to a playoff game when the sun is out, except maybe doing it in the completely redesigned 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe. With a bold modern appearance and luxurious interior that now includes a standard third row of
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, have you? I didn't think so. Come on, hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to this game, show some support and hit that subscribe button and help this community keep growing on its way up to 100,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of you who have hit that button already, and welcome to everybody who's brand new and is doing that right now. See you guys back in the chat.
We made meals and savories. Eat at a cozy table or take it with you. Grab a treat at Max's Bakery and Deli, Vancouver's ultimate sweet escape. Open daily 6:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. at 3105 Oak Street. Online at maxsdeli.ca.
Carter Honda is on the bandwagon, and it's game time, saving the best deals for the playoffs. Lease a new Honda Civic or HR-V from just 3.49% with plenty of stock to choose from. Or lease the award-winning CR-V from just 2.99%. And yes, that includes the CR-V hybrid model. Come in and ask about the playoff package at Carter Honda, 8th and Burrard, and CarterHonda.com. Let's go!
Hi, this is Elias Pettersson, and you're listening to the official home of the Canucks, Sportsnet 650.
8:32 left in the third period tonight in Edmonton. The Oilers lead the Canucks 4-1 in Game 6. Brendan Batchelor and Randeep Janda with you. Satyar Shah, Dan Riccio, and Yannick Hansen were with you on the pregame show. Sat has been at the intermissions with Bick Nazar and Landon Ferraro, and they'll be back for the Canucks Central postgame show, where they'll be joined by Ian McIntyre. Fast Eddie Gregory is producing the broadcast from Sportsnet 650 Control tonight with the help of Ben Basran. Jerry Dombrowski is with us here in the booth at Rogers Place, doing an excellent job as always. Canberra is the executive producer of Canucks Hockey and our fearless leader. It takes a cast of thousands to bring you the action along the Sportsnet radio network. As the Canucks win a face-off in the Oilers zone, Hughes tried to sharpen the line, didn't get through on net. Now it comes to Hronek, right point. Back to Hughes. Middle of the ice. Walking the line. Left side Lindholm. One-timer. It missed the goal. Hoaglander's after it on the forecheck. Battling with Nurse. Gets it to Pettersson, right corner. To Hoaglander behind the net. Back to Pettersson. Right wing half boards. Looking for a shooting lane. Takes a shot. He rung it off the post and it stays out. Pettersson again. Back to the line for Hronek. Long shot blocked in the slot by Ceci. Found by Lindholm. Left point Hughes. Middle of the ice Hronek. Right circle Pettersson. Fanned on a one-time opportunity. It rolls to the corner and Hoaglander recovers it. Middle of the ice for Lindholm. Turns and shoots. He sent it through the crease and out the near side past the stick side of Skinner. Now Hronek with a shot for the line. Stopped by Skinner. Rebound in front. Cleared to the boards by Nurse. Found by Janmark, and he'll take his time lifting it out to center, where McDavid tips it into the Canucks zone and the Oilers can change.
And that's the first time since the first period that the Canucks have had a very good sequence in the offensive zone. And would you look at it, the Edmonton Oilers look vulnerable there. Canucks need to bring more of that pressure.
They got 7 minutes and 25 seconds left in the third period, trailing by 3. And they're forechecking in the Oilers zone again, but here's McLeod to center. Left wing for Bouchard, joining the rush with room. To the Vancouver line, top of the circle, delays, tries a centering pass. It's tipped behind the net. Zadorov gets it free behind the goal from Fogle. Far boards Dakota Joshua, tied up by Ryan McLeod. Puck goes back deep. Zadorov takes it behind his own net, near boards for Ian Cole. Cole passes to center out of the reach of Garland, and this will be icing against the Canucks with 6:58 left in the third period. And the Oilers up 4-1, looking to force a Game 7.
And Elias Pettersson came very close to making this a 4-2 game, operating on the right-hand side. Rung a shot off the post, and it just bounced to the left-hand side. But Pettersson getting plenty of room to operate, and he leans into this shot. It goes over the left shoulder of Skinner and nearly goes in, but just bounces with some real speed towards the left corner, so no chance for a rebound.
And the Oilers on a face-off get a quick goal. Fans having fun, and they're having even more fun now, as the face-off was won cleanly by Draisaitl right to Evander Kane, and he beats Shilovs to make it 5-1.
Quick strike offense from the Oilers, as Draisaitl, who hasn't had a great night in the face-off circle, wins it back, and Evander Kane, ready to strike, goes glove side on Artur Shilovs, as Rogers Place is now bouncing. The Oilers with a 5-1 lead after a pretty good sequence by the Vancouver Canucks. But that's the thing about these Oilers. You give them an inch, they'll take a foot, and it's now 5-1.
They've taken a mile.
Yep.
Kane's fourth of the playoffs at 13:04 of the third period makes it 5-1. The time of the goal is brought to you by Crow, your trusted advisors for 55 years. Learn more at crowmackay.ca. Shelov's out of his goal to handle. Plays it around the near wall. Sam Carrick after it. Dumps it back behind the Vancouver net. Tyler Myers with it in the far corner is going to skate it out of the zone himself. Right wing for Podkolzin, who dumps it in from the red line. Skinner out of the net. Gives it away to DiGiuseppe. Far corner. Centering pass. In front. Podkolzin got a shot away, and Skinner made a good save. Carrick up the near side. Can't clear. Oman holds in. It comes to Soucy at the line. Near corner, DiGiuseppe. Spinning away from Desharnais. Dumps it behind the net. Podkolzin's got to chase it to the right corner. Nurse gets there first. And leaves it for Desharnais behind his own net. Now for Darnell Nurse down low. 6:05 left, third period. Oilers up 5-1. And what we expect to be the first game in this series that isn't decided by one goal. Nurse, left wing to center for Hyman. Tips it in deep. Shelov's out of the net. Passes far corner for Hronek. Up the boards to Suter. Try to centering pass. That one caught McDavid up high and bounced back into his own zone. He's none the worse for wear, though, as he's back in the defensive zone after the puck. Blueger's taken down on the end wall in a battle with Cody Ceci. Heavy board battle taking place. Besser trying to get it free. Suter's in there, too, as is Blueger. Puck still caught up on the far boards. Nugent Hopkins gave it away to Suter. Back to the line for Hronek. Left point, Hughes. Spins off a check of Hyman, dumps it behind the net, and Suter's got it right wing half boards. To Hronek at the line, one timer. Bounce to the corner, and Besser finds it down low. Plays back to the point for Hronek. Knocked it out of midair. Right circle, Suter. Again to Hronek. Back to Suter. Top of the far circle. Into the slot for Besser. Left wing. Hronek with a one-timer. Skinner made a great save down low off the pad. Nugent Hopkins in the corner protects the puck from Blueger. Canucks will change with 4:50 left in the third period. Oilers up by 4.
Stuart Skinner didn't have much to do in this game up until about 5 minutes ago, but a couple of key saves here late.
Puck is floated in on Shelov's. He'll turn it to the far corner for Ian Cole. Leaves to the end boards for Nikita Zadorov. Zadorov tied up by Evander Kane. Ian Cole back to get it. Throws it up the boards. Darnell Nurse gets a shot stop by Shelov's. Rebound far circle thrown back to the net. And Shelov's made another save, this time on Evander Kane. Now it's cleared out to center. Nurse back to it at his own line. Plays it ahead, and Draisaitl gets it right wing at center. He'll take his time and dump it into the near corner in the Vancouver zone. Ian Cole hit by Holloway. Got it left wing to center for DiGiuseppe. Into the Edmonton end. Dumps it past Bouchard to the corner. Blueger's after it on the forecheck. Set it in front. Garland tipped it through the crease and out the far side. He's got it right wing. Garland behind the net for Blueger. Left wing Soucy. Spins it around the end wall. It bounces back right point. Myers can't hold in. And here's Warren Fogle with speed to the Canuck line. Tried to cut around the big Vancouver defenseman who got it free. Turned it over to Derek Ryan. Down low for Fogle. Set it in front. Tap-in chance for McLeod. And he missed the net. In tight. Good job by Dakota Joshua on the back check to tip it free. And now Shelov's leaves for Soucy behind his own goal. To Connor Garland. Right wing to the Oiler line. Lifts it in deep. Skinner out of the net. Goes near corner for Ceci. Passes right wing to center for Derek Ryan. He'll clear it below the goal line of the Canucks zone, and Hronek goes back to it. Pushed into the end boards by Carrick on the forecheck. Gets it free. Try to centering pass. Blocked by Hughes. Found to the right wing by Connor Brown. Brown spins it around left corner. Sam Carrick has it. Pushed to the wall by Hronek. Janmark gets it free. Tied up by Pettersson on the wall. Hronek steps up on Janmark. They exchange shoves. And Hughes has it behind his own net. Quinn Hughes trying to escape the zone. Being pressured by Janmark. Got it to center for Lindholm. Left wing for Höglander into the Oiler end. Try to pass to Pettersson that went between his legs. And Ceci instead clears back to center. Hughes at his own line for Zadorov. Again for Hughes near boards. Both teams will change. 2:35 left in regulation time. Edmonton 5, Vancouver 1 in Game 6. Zadorov to center for Oman. Tried to make a move around Holloway. Lost the puck. McLeod fires it left wing for Evander Kane into the Vancouver zone. Shoots up high. Shelov's made the save. Cole's after it in the corner. Bats it up the boards. Kane knocks it down. To the line for Kulak. Now to the right circle. Controlled by Holloway. Turned and fired wide of the net. And Kulak pinches down for the left wing point to hold in the zone. Bouncing puck far circle. Cleared to the corner. Evander Kane after it. Pinned to the end boards by Nikita Zadorov. Holloway free on the far side. Zadorov and Kane into it behind the play. Zadorov's got Evander Kane in a bear hug, and they're going to blow the whistle. As Zadorov tackles him to the ice, the linesmen get in there. And if you're not going to win Game 6, you might as well drag this into the alley ahead of Game 7.
And this was brewing for essentially since Game 1. And now the scrum is getting bigger as Evander Kane and Nikita Zadorov started off. Now Phil DiGiuseppe, Desharnais, Oman, and Podkolzin are in the middle of it with Kulak as well.
Desharnais has Oman and Podkolzin in headlocks right now. While Evander Kane is still lying on the ice with a linesman keeping him away. They've got Zadorov to the Vancouver bench. Tempers continue to flare. At the end of the most lopsided game of the series to this point.
And there's always been some animosity, but every single one of these games up until tonight has been a one-goal game. So you don't want to take, a questionable decision and taking it into the alley, so to speak. But here, you've got some anger. You've got some, I would say, hatred between Nikita Zadorov and Evander Kane boiling over in the final 1 minute and 51 seconds of this game. And
referees are going to have a chat here and decide what they're going to call out of all of that.
And I was going to say Edmonton Oilers fans are loving this as well because they're showing some Canucks fans leaving the arena. So that got an extra pop. So there's some action on the ice and off the ice.
Penalty to number 91 and number 92. An Edmonton penalty, number 91 and number 73. All four guys, 10-minute misconduct.
So those guys are heading to the showers with 1:51 left in the third period. Podkolzin, Zadorov, Kane, and Desharnais are all done for the night.
And this starts with Nikita Zadorov pinning Evander Kane along the boards, and then with his left hand decides to say, you know what, I'm going to give you a little face wash, a little jab, just because I've wanted to for a while. And that's how it boils over between the two number 91s.
And a bit of a delay as there's been something thrown on the ice in the Vancouver zone by one of the fans here. And so now we look ahead to a likely Game 7 between the Vancouver Canucks and the Edmonton Oilers. It's been a tight all-Canadian series to this point. And although the Canucks would have liked to win it tonight, it is fitting that this series will need Game 7 to settle this Western Canadian tilt.
Yeah, if you're a neutral, the idea of Game 7 is perfect. If you're a Canucks fan, of course you'd like to finish it in 6, but the reality is Edmonton brought it tonight. They brought the heat. They brought the forecheck. They were a desperate team, and Vancouver was unable to match that, but both teams are going to have to be desperate in Game 7. It's going to be a true do-or-die situation in a 7-game series, so they might not have brought it tonight, but the next game in Vancouver, with the Rogers Arena crowd behind them, they're going to have an opportunity to close this out. But yeah, it's going to be high stress. It's going to be a lot of intensity, Batch.
And it is going to be, barring a late Canucks comeback here, they'd have to score 4 goals in the final minute, 51 seconds. It'll be a 6 o'clock puck drop on Monday night from Rogers Arena. Ian Cole back to the puck behind his own net, gets it up the near side for Höglander. Battling with Ceci, gets it free to Suter. Passes right wing to center. DiGiuseppe's after it, gains the red line, and dumps it into the Oilers zone. Sam Carrick flips it high in the air to the Canuck blue line. Tyler Myers back to it. Chased down by Connor Brown in the corner. Myers content to clear the zone. Ceci leaves at his own line for Darnell Nurse. Now for Ryan McLeod. Watched by Bluger at center. McLeod back into his own end. Leaves for Nurse. He's just going to take his time with the puck. Canucks aren't forechecking. And we're about to enter the final minute of the third period. Nurse passes to center. Foegele knocked it down. Gave it away to Dakota Joshua. He's left wing into the Oilers zone. Joshua trying to drive the net. Was tied out by Foegele, and now Holloway is away to center on right wing, and he dumps it in. Bluger behind his own goal. Leaves for Ian Cole on the end boards. He'll drop it back to Soucy behind the net. Now with 30 seconds left in this game. Up the wall for Bluger. Flips it out to center. Bouchard knocks it down. Oilers dump it back in. Ian Cole near corner. Plays it up the wall. Höglander to center. Flips it to the Edmonton line. 10 seconds left. Kulak back to it in his own zone. It's absolute bedlam at Rogers Place. And the reason why, the Edmonton Oilers have forced Game 7 against the Vancouver Canucks with a decisive 5-1 victory on home ice. And it'll be winner take all on Monday night at Rogers Arena in Vancouver.
It was a desperation game, a do-or-die situation for Edmonton where they needed their stars to pick up the slack. And Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl had a role in 5 of the goals. Each one of those players had a point on at least one of the goals, and that's what happens where you've got Edmonton and their big dogs stepping up. They were playing a desperate game, and Vancouver now is going to go back home, and it's for all the marbles. You got to match that desperation. You're going to have home ice. You're going to have the fans behind you, but this is going to be it. One game, winner take all.
Once again, the final score tonight at Rogers Place, the Oilers 5 and the Canucks 1. The best of 7 second-round series is tied at 3 games apiece. For Randeep Janda, this is Brendan Batchelor in Edmonton. The Canucks Central Postgame Show is coming up next here on Alpine Credits Canucks Playoff Hockey, streaming on the Sportsnet app and along the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Your feet, the silent workhorses of your body. They've danced you through life's highs, sprinted you through challenges, even stood firm on the green for that last putt. But even the strongest of supporters need support. That's where Kintec comes in. Not just with shoes, but with custom orthotics that ensure every step is aligned and comfortable. Visit kintec.net and discover how orthotics can transform your every step.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
The Prestons are a hockey family. Growing kids need food, and food needs a proper kitchen. I was sent by Alpine Credits to help with a home renovation loan. I introduced these young athletes to my superhero strength protein diet. Just consult your doctor before eating 300 eggs a day. Plenty of room in that new kitchen, though.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Hey, this is Carson Soucy.
They score! And just like that, it's 3-2 Vancouver.
And you're on home of the Canucks, Sportsnet Radio Network.
This is the Canucks Central Postgame Show.
Top of the circle, down low, Hyman with a one-timer. He wired that one off the outside of the post. Now McDavid again to the line for Bouchard. Heavy drive, he scores! McDavid with speed, right wing, into the Vancouver zone. Near circle, driving wide on Myers, centering pass in front, they score! Ryan Nugent-Hopkins jams it home at the top of the crease, and it's 4-1 Edmonton.
With instant reaction from the players and coaches.
And the Oilers on the face-off get a quick goal. Fans having fun, and they're having even more fun now.
Have your say on the official home of the Canucks, Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Canucks, a flat performance in Edmonton. Oilers take Game 6. We're going to a Game 7. Series tied at 3 games apiece in this tight best-of-7 series between the Canucks and the Edmonton Oilers. Satyar Shah, Landon Ferraro, and Bick Nazar. We are going to bring in Randeep Janda into the conversation in just a moment. You are listening to the Canucks Central Postgame Show presented by the number 5 Orange on the home of your Canucks, Sportsnet 650. Get your thoughts into our Dunbar Lumber text inbox, 650-650. You can also grab a phone line, 604-280-0650. And we will get you the thoughts of the Canucks head coach live at the podium when the game ends. And I would wager a guess, and I don't think they're long odds. I think they're pretty favorite, heavy odds, that head coach isn't going to be too pleased with that performance tonight. That simply wasn't good enough in an elimination game where you had a chance to advance to the conference final.
I suspect it'll be similar to Game 4 commentary. Now, can he crack the whip that quickly after doing it in Game 4 and saying the same things? But yeah, that is a dispiriting performance from the Vancouver Canucks tonight.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't even think it fully matters what he comes out and says tonight. Like, not to discount his job and what he's done, of course, but it's going into Game 7.
The guys know the stakes.
The guys know the stakes. They know that they did not play that well tonight. They didn't move their feet like the Canucks are built to move and be aggressive, and it just wasn't there tonight, and that's okay, but, it doesn't need to be anything more than that wasn't good enough, move on.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to Edmonton, where Randeep Janda called the game alongside Brendan Batchelor. 5-1 Canucks loss. The crowd was buzzing in Edmonton, and really, Randeep, you got through the first period, and it was tied at 1. Edmonton had a goal disallowed at the end of the first. You thought, all right, then the crowd's going to be nervous, and they seemed nervous from our standpoint for the first bit of the second, but that changed in a hurry when the Oilers really stepped it up.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And that was kind of a reverse of the situation of what we saw in Game 5, right? The Canucks entered the second period in Game 5 and really ramped it up and really locked it down. And Edmonton did the same thing. And it goes back to what we saw in Game 4 where they used, they started stacking those shifts, right? You started hitting the Canucks with pressure, and the Canucks couldn't cope with that, flipping the pucks out. What happens? You start eating pressure. You start getting tired as the shift length goes longer and longer. And that's a recipe for disaster. So, and that's exactly what played out in that second period. Hyman gets a 2-1 goal, and 3-1 goal is Bouchard, but that's just the team eating pressure, not skating the puck out, not getting the puck out quick enough. And you do that against this Edmonton Oilers team, you're going to pay.
Yeah, I'm curious, too, if that opening power play in the second period, if maybe that just kind of gets the Oilers' legs moving all over again, because it was kind of a gut punch there at the end of the first period. You don't get that goal, and just something goes your way. Zadorov takes his penalty, and you think, all right, here's a chance for us to get our momentum back, and eventually the goal comes later. But just to be able to get your rhythm back into a game.
For sure, and I think overall, the power play, even though they might have had some chances, a couple of chances at the very most, it did sap the momentum, whether it was in the first period, whether it was in the second period, or even, starting off the third period. You had moments where the Canucks did get their looks. They were 0 for 4 on the power play tonight, and rather than building any sort of momentum, it actually, once again, the entries really took away any confidence. So I think that performance is a disjointed one. It was one.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Canucks on Internet 948. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Canucks on Internet 948. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Canucks on Internet 948. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Canucks on Internet 948. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931, Canucks on Internet 948. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931, Canucks on Internet 948.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
Jay Kahn from SiriusXM NHL Network Radio was on the Daily Edition with Matt Gurney on Canada Talks, Channel 167, to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs coaching decisions now that Sheldon Keefe is gone, and they look for someone to take over the team and bring in a different perspective for the roster.
Wonder if there is an element of a different coach needing to come in with a different style of coaching to make better use of the parts the Leafs have.
Yeah, and no, I think that's 100% right. And at the end of the day too, I feel like when you have a coach there for a long time with the same core group of players, the message does get lost a little bit. And sometimes it's just change for the sake of change. But I think in this instance, it's a necessary change for the Leafs to make. And I'm curious, and we can get into who they could bring in as the next head coach. There's plenty of options out there, plenty of teams that have coaching vacancies as well. But in terms of his decision making, I mean, I didn't agree with many of the decisions. Now there were some, and I referenced it, just before about the adjustments he was able to make in that Boston series. That was a positive for me, but there were plenty of negatives for me over the years as well. And I did feel like he got a little stubborn at times as well. And, I don't know if the power play is completely on him. I know Guy Boucher was running the power play there in the playoffs, but, it just looked so stale, and they were doing nothing different to fix it or to change anything up. And in short series, like we get in the playoffs and small sample size, you can't sit around and wait for things to just play themselves out. You have to be able to make these adjustments and, not be afraid to maybe make a difficult decision in the playoffs, because it can get away from you very quickly.
When we talk about the rest of the coaches, do you think there will be a new head coach who will be slotted in over the existing staff, or do you think there's going to be some wholesale change postseason behind the bench?
Yeah, I think it depends on who comes in, and they could have the autonomy to maybe bring in their own staff, maybe keep an assistant here, keep a position here, but I wouldn't rule anything out, at this point. And there's a lot of interesting options out there. I think if you were to bring in a younger head coach, for example, which I don't think the Leafs will do, then yeah, maybe you keep the assistants, you keep some of the people in place. But if you're bringing in a veteran, which I'm more than likely, I think is the route that they're going to go here, with the options that you're seeing available, those coaches tend to have their guys, right? So I think that could open up the door to maybe bringing in some other pieces, some other names behind the bench as well. And I don't know where you sit on it, but I do think that this team needs a veteran head coach behind the bench. Keefe was the young rookie head coach, at least from a National Hockey League perspective, when he started with the Maple Leafs, and that's a tough ask. Hey, here's your first NHL coaching job. It's with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're going to have a lot of pressure, and we're expecting you to win a Stanley Cup, and ultimately he didn't achieve his goal. So I think now at this point where the team is at, the core, and we'll see what happens to the core over the course of the offseason, if any changes happen there, but the core is getting older, more of a veteran core now at this point. I think this is what they need, is a veteran head coach, someone that's been there before, has been in some playoff battles before to maybe push this team over the edge.
That was Jay Kahn from SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91, on the Daily Edition with Matt Gurney on Canada Talks.
SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio is the place for expert advice, strategy, and information for the best fantasy sports analysis to win your league. Plus, hear pick-by-pick coverage of live drafts and interviews with top players, coaches, and team executives on SiriusXM 87.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931, Canucks on Internet 948. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931, Canucks on Internet 948. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931, Canucks on Internet 948. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931, Canucks on Internet 948. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931, Canucks on Internet 948. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931, Canucks on Internet 948.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
The Arizona Coyotes' run in the Grand Canyon State has officially come to an end, at least for now. Officials with the NHL have announced previously that the team will be moving to Utah beginning with the 2024-2025 season as a result of a sale to Jazz owner Ryan Smith. With the team's sale, Phoenix has joined a list of American and Canadian cities that have lost NHL franchises, among which are Atlanta, Cleveland, Denver, Hamilton, Hartford, Kansas City, Bloomington, Montreal, Oakland, Ottawa, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Quebec City, St. Louis, Toronto, and Winnipeg. This development for Arizona marks the end of a chapter for them and the end of professional hockey in that state. Deputy Commissioner of the National Hockey League, Bill Daly, was on the Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio Channel 91 to talk about the news that the Coyotes have moved to Utah and what's next and the future for hockey in Arizona.
Give me a sense where you're at about the move and then the hope down the road.
Well, I mean, I think it's twofold. One, the way I describe what happened in Arizona is we came up with a very unique solution to a persistent and longstanding problem. And that was to put the Coyotes on a footing where they could be successful or have success. And that always centered around the right arena and the right location. And, we had a couple kicks at it, haven't gotten it right yet. And, as a result, we were in a sub-professional building, great place to watch a hockey game, but certainly not a professional building. And, wasn't fair to the players, wasn't fair to the other clubs to have to look forward to the prospect of playing in the same building for the next couple of years, whether that's 3 years or maybe 5 years. So we felt we're still committed to Arizona as a market. We think it's a good market. We think it can be successful given the right circumstances. We're giving them an opportunity to create those circumstances and some time, really some runway. So the Arizona franchise will be, once the transactions close, inactive with the ability to reactivate. And that would mean at that point in time, we'd go from 32 franchises to 33 franchises. And, we'd stock the new Arizona Coyotes club as basically an expansion team and go through an expansion draft type process to restock them.
That was Deputy Commissioner of the National Hockey League, Bill Daly, on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91's The Morning Skate with Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin. If you want to hear more interviews or news from around the league, make sure to check out SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on SiriusXM Channel 91.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, SiriusXM 86, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Canucks on Internet 948. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Canucks on Internet 948. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Canucks on Internet 948. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Canucks on Internet 948. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Canucks on Internet 948. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, May the 18th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Canucks on Internet 948.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. SiriusXM Channel 89.
Former NHL player and former head coach of the St. Louis Blues, Craig Berube, joined Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick for the Morning Skate on NHL Network Radio on SiriusXM Channel 91 to discuss Sheldon Keefe and how the relationships between coaches and players have changed throughout the years.
Very classy. He's a classy person, and he was fortunate to coach at Toronto Maple Leafs. Obviously a great place, great market, and a great hockey organization. And, it was a classy play. And he wanted to let everyone know how thankful he was, the players, the people, and everybody. And I love seeing it. And you don't want to see anybody lose their job, I'll tell you that, in this business as a coach. And I've lost my job before. So it's, I thought it was a real classy move on his part. And, listen, you get hired, you work with people, and you form real good relationships with your players, the people around you, and everything. And listen, at times we've got to make a change. That's part of the business, and and coaches understand that. And you're not happy about losing your job, but at the same time, you got to move on. And I think you don't want to sit there and burn bridges. That doesn't do anything. You got to move on and be respectful, and he did that.
Was watching the show yesterday too, Greg, and they were saying, because they were replaying one of your clips from St. Louis where you said our star players just are not bringing it. Our star players have to be held accountable. They have to be better for us to have a chance to win. You made no bones about it. And they were saying on this show, this is what we need kind of thing, right? This is why Greg Berube's been pursued like he has been. We've talked to you about how much better a coach you were the second time round as compared to the first opportunity you got as well. Can you talk to us about how maybe handling players and dealing with players and communicating with certain players is maybe different than it once was 20 years ago, or maybe the same in some ways?
No, it is a little bit of both, but it's definitely changed a lot. I mean, you know, back when I played, you didn't talk to the coach a lot, and you could talk to a lot of players that played in my era. They'd say the same thing. There wasn't a lot of communication. Hey, that's your job, go and do it, you know. And, you know, you almost held yourself accountable. But we were different people back then, and things have changed. You know, players have changed, the personalities have changed. There's a lot that went on, and communication is really important nowadays. And you know, partnerships. You know, a coach has to really form partnerships with his players, and